Okay, I've started as well. What I might do is the little bit that we did before. I might splice it together with what we're doing now, and just have like the SpongeBob like 1 week later, in between.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a little like time skip. Why not?
Yeah. So
I don't even remember we were talking about like Aquaman or something last week, weren't we?
I was
Like,
telling you about my little book that I'm gonna be working on.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but currently, since it's been a week, it's Merry Christmas. It's the 24th today.
yeah. Santa's probably on his way at the moment, doing his thing.
Oh yeah,
Someone check the Google tracker if they still do that.
I think they do.
Oh yeah, like the. I'm gonna Google that actually. I
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cute thing that I do. I didn't know about it until like a couple years ago. I don't know how
Yes.
long it's been running for.
Yep.
No, I think
Oh,
it's
wait.
cute.
So we
only
are
speak
recording, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Indonesia.
we're live. We're not live.
Okay.
Oh wow, it's like
I'm just
fully
gonna say it right
clean.
now. I'm just gonna say it right now. I wish I was one of those people that could tell Santa wasn't real back then. I really wish I was one of those people.
Don't worry, join the club. I believed in Santa for like eons. It's unreal.
I
When I was a kid, I did not believe in Santa, but obviously that's probably
Wait.
due to my upbringing.
I mean
Mm.
I guess, but
I'm so sorry for your loss, but hey ho. I
yeah,
mean,
Oh,
I don't
no.
know. I believed in Santa too long. I like literally. I was probably older than I should have been before I realized. Oh wait, Santa isn't real. He doesn't
right, go
give
on then.
me
How old were
free
you?
shit.
How old were you if you don't mind
I
sharing
don't
that?
remember how old. Probably like, uh, if I'm being honest, probably like 10, 11.
That's not too old. It's like I wouldn't be surprised if a 10-year-old believes in Santa.
Okay.
Because I think I was about that age when like I found out, and the way I found out is like um I went to my mother in the kitchen and just straight up asked, and she said nah. It's like, oh, and that really upset me at the time because um not for like it's just because that was the realization that my parents are spending a lot of money on me, and like I just felt guilty about having that having them spend so much money
Yeah, yeah.
when it's like oh, this is like really cool, because usually the thing was like you got a gift from like Santa or a gift from like mum dad, but now it's like, oh, both of us, like the budget is like doubled, and I got two brothers as well, so it was like, oh, that's a lot of money. It's just a lot of guilt, and like not really the kind of reaction a 10-year-old should be having though. But
Yeah, it's
I don't
kind of existential when you think about it. Like, it's like kind of the moment where you have to like think like a grown up for a moment and be like, you've had so much, like you're just such a huge money sink, and all this money like has to go towards you getting all these presents like once a year, and especially like if you've got a lot of siblings as well. I have a lot of siblings, and so it's kind of like, God, Christmas is just. I think it's the moment you kind of understand Christmas. Yeah, is like the most expensive time of the year.
I mean, as someone who has never celebrated Christmas and probably never will, because I come from a Muslim family, right? I think as well, just the whole point of it is to spend money and get gifts. And obviously, I don't get gifts around this time of year, so I guess I'm lucky.
I mean, what about the
But
gift that I got you?
I see. Oh, except that. That
Yeah,
was probably the first gift I ever got. I still have that on my shelf, by the way, the Sonic thing.
yeah.
Oh,
It was like 2 years
by the
ago.
way, fun fact. I added to that gift now because I went out last year to a concert, and it's a band called Carpenter Brut or Carpenter Brat, however you say
Oh,
it.
I know.
Yeah,
Roller Monster. Yeah.
yeah,
Unfamiliar.
really good. They did Roller Mobster, and oh my god, there was a mosh pit. I should have been in the mosh pit, but no.
Oh,
I was at the top area, and I made like a friend for the night, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to come drink with us, like these guys, you know?" So I go over with them, and we just talk about what we do as jobs. So I was still in my apprenticeship at that point, and these guys were working in finance, and the other one works for EA as a I think he was like a manager in something, or you know.
That's
But
cool.
okay.
another guy, yeah, he worked for Sega, and he actually gave me his business card. So I have this business card
You
right
just got a
next to the.
contact from Sega.
Yeah, and what's even better is recently I applied for a job at Sega Europe as a data analyst. If
Oh,
I love it. So I don't know. It's like kind of like full circle there. So I'm
Wait, so like,
hoping something comes out there.
oh wait,
Yeah,
so you haven't got a response yet?
you
I've only just applied like probably 2 days ago.
Oh,
So
that's really cool.
if you do
yeah.
get a response and you get hired, can you like just leak some info to me about the new Jet Set Radio in Minecraft?
No, unfortunately, the data analyst part is going to be for like sports games, so Football Manager. But
So not
I
even the
can't. I
good.
can't. But I'm feeling like if I do that and then leave to go do the other stuff for them, then yeah, that would be nice
Yeah, bro,
if they'll let me.
bro's
But
really gonna be that guy who's like for us just like oh yeah, our dad works at Sega.
yeah, no, like literally, I wouldn't mind having a kid after that point. Like my dad actually works for Sega, and
My
I
dad
just
work
have to tell my kid, um,
yeah, my dad works at
yeah,
Microsoft. I'll
yeah,
go
as a
get you
data
Dan.
analyst. I'm not a programmer, son. I'm a data analyst.
Still, this is bragging
But-
rights.
My dad works at Nintendo.
Right.
like in Scott Pilgrim. His husband works for Nintendo.
My gay
You
best
mean you want to
friend's
make
husband
games?
works. Yeah, gay best friend's husband works at
But,
Nintendo.
but yeah, it actually makes me think about Christmas, like of course I don't really want kids, so I'm saving myself a lot of money just not celebrating Christmas and not having kids. So, but
Honestly,
imagine if
valid.
sorry?
I said honestly valid.
Yeah, no, like in this economy, no, I don't want kids. But if you do enter into a relationship, I feel like it really depends on what kind of person you're with, because their gift, their expectations of a gift will be either super high or like normal or super low. So for me, my expectations were really low because I don't get gifts anyway. So what's the point of me even asking for one, right? So, but if I meet someone and they're like, I don't know. Say if I'm won the lottery suddenly and they're asking me for a Birkin bag, I don't think I would actually like go through with it. I think I would rather just not talk about anything for Christmas. But it's something unrealistic like that would just not work with me.
I mean,
Plus,
I
I've never grown up with Christmas in mind, so to me, this is just another holiday that I'm really happy to take.
well, I
I'm
mean,
not working tomorrow.
I don't know if don't know if this is a good or bad time, but I actually got you a gift.
Wait, really? When?
Oh, like a while ago, I got in preparation. I got Kira and Cam gifts as well. So and
Dude.
yeah, so Zeb, you and Dan,
yeah.
I wanted to get gifts, but I had no clue what I should get you.
I mean that's fine. I don't need anything. I
I
was
know.
gonna say I'm quite like I don't have.
Dude, I don't need anything. I think your last gift was like good, like really good enough because it's still there and it's just like it's a really good centerpiece for the
Yeah, no,
for the other Sega stuff I have
I
on
know,
me.
but I appreciate you you guys doing this with me, and it's been really fun just like hanging out with you guys. So I thought I'd do something. So like Zeb, I know I just couldn't decide what to get you and Dan, so I was planning on just like a PayPal and you're like 30 quid or something you can buy for yourself.
Yeah, give me a Fortnite gift card actually.
A
Like
Fortnite, you want the battle pass?
honestly, this is gonna be really bad. I'm actually like, I mean, I haven't played it in like a week actually, but I've actually just fully converted. I play Fortnite now. Like,
Oh man,
I'll get you the
you
pay.
want
and you know
banana
they,
skin?
I don't even want the banana skin. I want uh, I don't think there's a specific skin I want Molly, that I haven't got already.
All right, I'll get you the battle pass.
So wait, what did you get
Let's
me
go.
then?
I've already got the battle pass.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll get you something. I'll get you something at some point. But and I'll get something for Dan as well. So, I just yeah, but yeah, yeah. I'll just tell you now because it'll be probably a while before I can actually get it to you. Yeah, I actually got you. You see there?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
No, no, sorry, yeah. What did you get me then? Because I haven't even thought about giving out gifts. Well, to be
oh, how
honest, I
could you?
have given out gifts, but it was pre-Christmas, like because it was during Black Friday and Thanksgiving. I got gifts for like my family, like they were just perfumes, but that's what I could think about.
It's only a little something. I got you a little Lego Sonic set.
ah.
Oh my god,
Only,
that's amazing.
yeah, only the little one. I'll bring up a little picture of what it is.
Oh, on the Discord. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
see.
got the visuals. So
I actually like the look of like the Lego Sonic sets. They look kind
You know,
of.
that's such a good coincidence because I think my brother was talking about it, getting a Lego set for his room as well, because obviously he just moved in with his wife and everything. So they both like Lego as well.
Yo, they made a Shadow one.
oh yeah, it's coming out in January.
uh,
I actually.
If that was out, I would have got that one for you.
did you send it to me or? Oh wait,
I'm just finding an image on Google Maps.
imagine a shadow Lego figure. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's a green flag or a red flag.
Oh,
Like he just
watch,
walks into someone's room.
there's another one with Knuckles and Rouge actually as well.
Ah, nice.
Okay, that would actually be amazing. Why do I feel like this Lego set would cost a lot of money later on down the line?
Oh no, it definitely will once it retires. Man, this fucking like JPEG is like taking a while to download. Jesus.
I'm just posting this Shadow one real quick just because it's already in my.
Oh, is that? Wait, so oh no, that's not the one that
Yeah,
I'm getting. But
that has to be
oh,
based
it's even
on.
got the bike.
Yeah, so that has to be
Yeah.
based on like the 2006 one where he's got a gun.
Yeah,
Oh man,
you just need to give them like an actual like Lego gun and then.
I was actually expecting it. I remember playing that game as a kid, and I went, you know what? It's not as bad as people say it is.
Oh, that's just
And
a fucking
then
link. Whoops.
oh yeah, like
Let me delete
I was
that.
thinking, no, this isn't as bad as I think it is, or as other people think it is. Then I just pick up a gun, and I just went, okay, maybe I understand where everybody's coming from, but at the same time, you're a
It's just,
hedgehog with a gun.
it's the idea, yeah, of just giving a Sonic character a gun that's just like insane.
I, I found it funny. I think it was
It's
like
funny. It's funny,
it's
yeah.
meant to be serious, but it just came off as really just dumb and stupid. But I loved it, and the whole point of Sonic the Hedge, sorry, Shadow the Hedgehog was I think you had to complete it like 10 times to get the true ending. And funnily enough, I
Yeah.
did that, and I still can't remember what the
Oh,
true ending was. I think it was something like I don't know, he was put on the planet or something like that. Oh, so is
yeah.
that mine?
Yeah, that's the one I got you. It's just a little one, but I thought you might appreciate it.
Ah, that's cool.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta build this and put it somewhere
I gotta
because
give
I
it to you
I, I
first.
need yeah.
yeah,
Oh, and it's got the TV with the ring, the TV box with a ring in it, and then
the little motorbug as
is that
well.
wait, is that the bouncy thing?
It's a
Oh my god,
launcher.
it is.
Yeah, that's what it's
Yeah.
based off. But it's like using a little sphere, so you can just like smash it down and you can launch them across.
Oh my god, imagine if it does, if it made that sound as well. Oh my god, that would be so good because they made the Super Mario one and it actually made a sound. So I wouldn't mind making it so that it does the boing sound effect.
yeah, but yeah, I thought you appreciate it.
But
It's just a little thing that got
yeah, thank
everyone.
you. How much did it cost you though? Because
I
that
got
must have been expensive.
oh no, I got it on discount as well. So
Like,
it's only like 20 quid. Don't worry.
oh, okay, wow. I thought Lego would be a lot more expensive, to be honest.
well, I mean, like this is a little set. You only get like one minifigure, and it's like probably like less than 200 pieces. So like honestly, this should be like probably 15, but its original price was like 25, and that's like 25 is a bit too much for that. I think at
It-
least.
yeah, I think around the because I've been inside the Lego shop, right? And I think in terms of pricing, I think it just depends on how many pieces you actually need to build because you got the Millennium Falcon at like I don't know, 600, 700 quid, but it makes sense because it's the Millennium Falcon and there's actually a lot of pieces that go into it.
Well, I mean, like
If it was
that's
like one molded piece, like as in two molded pieces where you click it on together, it would be it would be much cheaper because it would be much more much crappier plastic to produce, and also it wouldn't work with anything else. So
I mean,
yeah,
it depends because there's this thing called like price per piece ratio, and like the price per piece is like different depend on different sets.
Hmm.
So like it's not always like there are some sets which are priced higher even though they have less pieces, and like vice versa. It's like a lot of different factors. But I think Lego's like really overpriced at the moment. Like you can tell how overpriced they are because of how often Lego is on sale nowadays.
Oh right, okay.
I'm really sorry to interrupt for a sec,
Oh, no, go
but
ahead.
Oh, go
I've
on.
just seen the Knuckles and Rouge Lego set.
Yeah, post in chat.
And why does Knuckles have a fucking mech suit?
What? Why does he have a mech suit?
Lego
No,
just
isn't that like
yeah, Lego just loves doing like mech suits for like random characters. It's complete nonsense. But like I mean like
well, I mean, isn't that like Tails' thing? Like Tails in a mech suit, I get like Knuckles.
No, wait, I swear Eggman has a mech suit as well.
yeah,
No, no,
Yeah,
Rouge,
yeah.
I think Rouge does have a plane, right? I mean,
I don't know, but
I
if I remember correctly, in Sonic X or something like
yeah,
that,
I
they do
feel
have
like
stuff like that.
yeah, but no, it's just something that Lego does. Like they give like Darth Vader and stormtroopers and like mech suits and shit. It's just like thing that they think kids like. But I mean, I'm getting this just because
probably
of the
that, and they're
minifigures.
just like, yeah. I mean, it's cool figures, and like,
And like Rouge doesn't look like complete ass because like the Sega and like modern Sonic are like really struggling with how to make give Rouge a decent character design without it being like without-
super like booba.
yeah, because I don't know if you like saw like the Sonic Prime cartoon, like
Yeah, yeah.
Maidens, have you seen that? This new CG one. Hello?
Oh,
Yeah.
maidens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Did you see the Sonic Prime cartoon, like the new one?
No, I saw a trailer for it actually on YouTube, and I don't know about it really.
I
I think
mean,
it's just because I've seen like Sonic Boom like a while back, and realized how funny it was when you don't like mention the games. It on its own, it's actually a funny cartoon, like a decent cartoon. But I haven't really checked out Sonic Prime. I've only seen like I think like a teaser or a
um,
trailer or something. It was on YouTube, and then
yeah.
I just
Um,
went, "Oh, it looks all right. It looks fine."
I mean,
It didn't really.
it's extremely mediocre in my opinion. It's like it feels really
Yeah, I've
cheap
seen
because of the
bits and
environments.
pieces, and it just doesn't really like. I don't know. I
Um,
used to love Sonic X when I was like a lot younger.
If they made like a 2D animated Sonic, I think that would just instantly be better because
You
they just
know,
do a lot more.
yeah.
you know the trailer they did for like Sonic Frontiers with Knuckles. They should like
Yes.
seriously do something like that.
Well, I mean, Knuckles is getting a TV series like that's connected to the movies. I don't know if it's gonna be live
Yeah,
action. But like we had
I think it will be if it's not live action, it will be like the same style, with like Idris Elba and stuff.
yeah, I was very
I'm surprised they
surprised.
haven't made a Knuckles game. I think they should just make a Knuckles game again and
They
like
should, and can they
center
like
around gliding and flying.
Yeah,
and they
but
Like,
can they give it like a really like cheesy 90s hip hop soundtrack as well? Like
yeah, yeah, it would actually work out. I would genuinely believe that. Like you get in, and if you know the tone that it's gonna set, then
yeah.
people won't get too mad about it because like Knuckles. I think with Knuckles and everything in Sonic Adventure, it was like treasure hunting, but he also used his gliding, so the levels were kind of built around it. So if they made something like Sonic Frontiers with Knuckles in mind, it, technically it could work out, I think. And also he digs, so he could just
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like you could make a Zelda thing. I think Sonic Frontiers should have taken bits from Zelda, the way that how Zelda works, if that makes sense.
I
Like
get
the
what you're
Breath of the
saying.
Wild, you got
Yeah.
Basically, Sonic
like
Adventure, but like open world.
yeah, like you could go straight to the boss whenever you wanted to, really. Like it's sort of like that. And with
Mm.
Sonic Frontiers, I just don't get why everything was. It didn't even seem like the levels were like built like actual open worlds. It was like just lines of rings everywhere, and then oh, you have to go
Yeah.
through this because then it will do it automatically. It felt
It
like
just
a
it
side
feels
scroller but in 3D, which didn't make sense, or
it
auto
feels
scroller.
I've not like properly played it yet, but like the open world kind of just to me looks a bit like a field that they would make to like test.
Yeah,
Like it feels like a test level that's like been made as the actual like game.
the common
You know,
criticism
again,
that
maybe I
is
need
like
to still play it, but
the common criticism is like it's like a Unity fan game that
yeah, exactly.
professionally released. But
Has anyone else played Sonic GT actually?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, it's like a fan game, but like the mechanics in it, like the movement is kind of exactly what I want like a new Sonic game to be like. I hate to go all like Sega hire this man for a sec, but I'll like put the trailer in the chat just so you can like watch it. Just so you can like watch it in like your own time.
I mean, if you share your screen, we can all watch it together if you want.
I mean, to be honest, I personally think like what uh, what the fans did with Sonic Mania should just I think they should just continue making the Sonic games from there on. It seemed like they knew, well, because they're the fans, they knew exactly what they wanted, and they had people that were very experienced in modding or like making fan games. So like Sonic the Hedgehog Mega Mix is such a good idea of a fan game because you had these like really cool levels, new characters that actually worked like mechanically, and then you had the music all mixed up from other Sega games like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, I think was in there, which was really good because obviously the history between Michael Jackson and Sonic.
And Sonic,
So I'm
yeah.
thinking to myself like, I feel like they knew exactly what they were on when they made Sonic Mania Plus because all of the music, all of the characters, every single one of them worked it really well. It's like if you go into a new character, it felt like you were playing a different game, and like, but you still had a lot more fun out of it. Uh, yeah, I think they should have went back to making like maybe a second 2D Sonic game or maybe a 3D one. I'm not sure how good they are in 3D, but
Yeah.
they impressed me.
What was like the new Sonic game that came out again?
Superstars.
Like there was kind of like Superstars,
That's the
yeah.
most recent
'Cause
one.
wasn't that like a kind of like 2D?
It's like 2.5D, but I heard it was quite well received actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Sonic Generations, which I think was probably for me the best 3D game that came out from that series because it was just, yeah, everything was just tight. Like literally, I don't think I've ever found an issue playing that game. Everything was just smooth and went really well. And then it was kind of like, oh, this is our history. Let's work on it and then make it
Yeah.
into like a proper game that people will love. So
Nah,
yeah.
I kind of have like a soft spot for colors, but I feel like Generations was kind of like the best of that era of like Sonic games.
the thing is, I don't actually like any of the Sonic games that I've played. I've played like Mania and Frontiers. And I just don't. It's just not for me. But the thing that I actually quite like the characters. Like I actually quite enjoyed the two movies and like the shows that I've seen. And like it's
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I
The movie.
I had fun with the movies. I think they're like they're just like perfectly like serviceable. I feel they're just fun.
well, I mean, I think the
Uh,
second film is just like leagues better than the first.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But it's to be
absolutely.
expected because they kind of go like they like actually start to bring in more of the characters
But
and
like,
like
if the humans weren't in the second one, I feel like the second one would just be like a extremely well regarded film. That's the only like hang up that it has. Otherwise, from being like a really good film
yeah.
with
But
like good
even
character
then,
arcs.
but then you'd have to cut out the wedding arc, and
Well, yeah, but who
I'd
cares?
argue. Yeah, true.
Like, who
The
cares?
I
wedding.
don't know. I just remember like being in the cinema, and I think I was like pissing myself laughing just watching this whole like wedding arc unfold in like a Sonic movie, and just being like, you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, I mean, like it's with everything with like Eggman, like Sonic, and like Knuckles is just really good. Like,
Yeah, like
like
genuinely, like
it's like
really strong.
unironically that like Sonic 2 has better character arcs than like the last like 8 like superhero films.
Sonic games.
Unironically,
Yeah.
We're putting it on par with like Marvel at the moment or something. Um,
or like
it actually
I mean,
reminds me of
unironically,
something. Yeah, like I was watching this like little web series. And it turned into a web series. I think it became a meme first, then a web series. It's the Shadow Wizard Money Gang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know why, and I think it's a dead meme at this point, but I still laugh at it because my friend
Nah.
kept on like quoting it with the same tone of voice, and I
Yes.
was watching it one day because it was just in my mind. Turns out the person who made one of the animations, he continued to make more animations based on the same characters, and they have character arcs
Oh my
and like
god. No,
personality traits
please
that are
send.
so good that it made me genuinely think this is like peak entertainment. Like this is actually entertaining to watch. And somebody commented down in the comments saying, when this is better than most Marvel films coming out, you're doing something right.
Please send
And it's
any Shadow Wizard lore.
like for example, it's not in this picture, but like in the animation itself, there's a yellow wizard and a purple wizard. Now, oh wait, no, I think oh no, and then you got the orange wizard. So the yellow wizard and the purple wizard in one of the animations, they get married, and it's just
Oh,
like it's like a cool thing to me. But like and then I think what they stop an evil corporation or something and just and then just go back to their day. And then the next episode, that evil corporation is like the guy or the CEO of that evil corporation that now fell off. He's delivering pizza, and then they just make and invite him in to eat pizza or something. So it's like really wholesome. I don't know what this animator was doing, but he probably just went for the most chill out, wholesome content, and it's like one of the best content on YouTube. I don't know if he's continuing it or finished it, but I think it ended off on a really good note if he's finished it. Because that was probably the last we watched. But yeah, I don't know if they got names or anything, but I do know they like I think the green one in the animation, he's like a big guy holding an AK in one of the episodes. And he got yellow and purple, he's married, and they have a son together. The son is like really funny. He finds a book of like evil or book of dark secrets.
Yeah, I always find it funny when like memes just get their own like backstory and lore, and it just develops.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, did you all ever see like the tuba RPG?
Yes, the tuber bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna meme when it was around.
I'm just gonna pull up like the original if I can. Uh,
Yeah, but it's always like funny just to see like really good art on like just like random like shit posts.
Here they are.
Or just like random cartoons in general. I mean, to be honest, I never expected the Sonic movies to have an arc, or you know what? No, I would have said Adventure Time or something like that, but it was kind of made with that in mind. I felt like an arc was gonna happen with Finn, but you never expected an arc to happen with like all the other characters as well. Like I
Yeah.
think Bimo had his own arc as well, but I haven't actually watched it. All I remember is an episode where Bimo goes back to his creator, and his creator's got like all these other Bimos, and his origin story basically, which is really cool because you don't really think of Bimo except for him being in like a game system and whatever else to Finn and Jake.
And then he's got like
Yeah, I guess, but like a hot take. I think Adventure Time is extremely overrated. I just think there's so much basically like filler when like that like basically overshadows all the actually interesting stuff. Because I think the most interesting thing, or like, I think the best part of Adventure Time is everything with Simon, and like the fact that Fiona and Cake basically the HBO series basically makes Simon main character and is I think is the reason why that show is so good.
mm,
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I still need to see Fiona and Cake actually because
I
I
still
don't
need
know,
to finish
like
Adventure
after
Time. I
watching
feel
Adventure
like
Time, like I used to laugh at Ice King because Ice King was a bit of a weirdo, but then
but then
once
you
you know
find out
everything and watch
more.
it again, it's just so sad. Like I actually can't watch it because, well, I think he called his wife Princess, and then
Yeah,
obviously that got into his mind, and then the whole princess thing, and I'm just thinking. Oh, even in the first episode, you can sense a bit of loneliness in the pilot where he did like kidnap every single princess, but he I don't think he really understood the reason why he really wanted them. I think he just wanted them because it was similar to his wife, but he couldn't even remember his own wife. So all he could remember was princess, and that was in his mind. And then he gets the shit rocked out of him, which is really funny to me, in my opinion.
yeah. But
Like
I mean,
gets hit in the beard and just gets smacked up.
yeah. I mean that's just
But
like my position on Adventure Time. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. However, I just think there's a lot of like mediocrity surrounding it. That's why I think Fiona Cake overall is a better series than Adventure Time, just because of it's a serialized story.
Hmm.
I mean, technically, isn't Adventure Time kind of, well, I
Um,
wouldn't say it's super serialized, but I think depending on the season, because
I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying.
what
Like, it's canonical. Like, everything that happens in the show does actually happen. And it isn't reset. However, it's just the structure is more episodic until we get to like the miniseries that start popping up in like the later seasons.
Yeah, because I used to think of each different season as, and this is a really weird thing for me, but every time Finn got a new sword, I used to think of it as a different season, if that made sense. Because when I was a kid, I didn't really know what seasons really were. So I thought Finn getting a new sword from the normal one, then to the stick one, then to the demon sword, and then to like the leaf sword. I just thought, okay, every new season he must probably be getting a new sword. And then I think he got his arm cut off. I was just like, okay, this is just getting a little bit ridiculous now. But it was a good story though. I'm just saying, like, it, yeah, Finn did not get easy. I think he's got a lot more trauma than he has to admit to his therapist in the Land of Ooh.
Yeah, and another hot take. I thought the ending was a bit lame, but that I could be completely out of whack at the moment. But I was just not really a fan. Can't really say that I am. But I like Fiona and Cake, surprisingly.
Mm.
But yeah, honestly, I guess moving on to another topic. I actually saw Aquaman yesterday.
Ah,
How was it?
Eh, it was
eh.
it was like the height of mediocrity. I think. Like it was.
Yeah, I've heard it's like very mid.
Like
I feel.
I think it's a definition of mid. I think it's better than like almost every other superhero film that came out this year. I think the only films that are better than it is probably maybe
Spider
Guardian.
Verse.
Sorry, oh,
Spider
I
Verse.
keep forgetting Spider Verse is
Oh yeah.
this year. Yeah, I guess Spider Verse, Guardians 3, and I think Blue Beetle might be a bit above it, just because it's more coherent as a story.
Hmm.
But it's just like nothing really happens, and it's a bit disappointing. Like being the last step of the DC like extended universe, it being a bit of a whimper because like if you know Aquaman from the comics, you know that it like when this film had its first trailer, if you know comics, then it was almost a given that one of two things should have happened: A, the baby would have been killed, or B, like he would have lost his hand. Because that's just,
Yeah.
but like, do you care about spoilers?
Not
No, no.
massively, nah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Go
I
for a
think
movie.
I think I already know at least one of those things like
But
happens.
probably should have less of that. But you don't care about spoilers. Neither happened,
Oh, okay.
and it's kind of like like really disappointing because like the way the film is structured is, um, so basically Black Manta has undiscovered a really old ancient kingdom that's been lost. He gets a cool new suit which I like. I like the costume and the design of the Aquaman films.
Yeah,
But
just Black Manta in general just looks really cool.
like
I feel.
in the
I
first
feel we
one,
can all agree.
like Black Manta and Ocean Master, I really like the costumes.
Hmm.
Like I think it's like the first time in probably like a decade that I would say that like the guy who made these costumes actually give a shit about about the source material, regardless of the quality of the film. The guy on production is like needs a raise because I can't think of any other like superhero film in the last like decade where it's like these costumes are fucking on point. Like
Yeah, I
like
feel like to a certain extent Suicide Squad, the James Gunn one,
yes, sorry, yeah,
kinda
like
yeah.
that, like yeah, like Suicide Squad, and like I
Oh,
think the first Shazam because I think the Shazam
wait,
suit is
did
really good.
you not like outfits?
Wait, sorry,
Or,
say again.
did you not like the Suicide Squad James Gunn outfits?
Oh no,
Because I thought they were
Oh,
pretty
no, no,
good.
nah,
no, I
I was
love
saying
them.
they yeah.
No,
I was saying they were like on point basically.
oh no, they're really good. And
Yeah.
like everything from like even like the throwaway characters like Blackguard, Javelin, and like Savant. But like then you also have like
Yeah,
the
like
best.
they still went out the way to make them look just perfectly like comic accurate and
Yeah,
cool
and
and
then you had
stuff.
like our main guys like Peacemaker and Polka Dot Man, which is like I don't feel like if this product was given to anyone else, like no fucking way would anyone give Polka Dot Man his comic accurate costume.
Yeah, like they try to like go a kind of like weird realistic route or something. It's hard not to I think it's hard to do a character like Polka Dot Man
I,
They
and
did
I'm
it perfectly though.
I'm gonna have a hot take here. Actually,
oh
sorry to
yeah.
interrupt.
Go on.
When I was watching that and I saw Polka Dot Man, something felt within me like I feel like he is gonna die or something, but he's gonna have a good time, and like he's gonna have a good time in the film or like a funny time in the film. I freaking love this character, man. I think he
I
was
was
one of the
I
best
was I
characters.
was expecting him to I was actually expecting him to live throughout the movie because I was like just watch like the like joke character actually be like the heart of the movie
Yeah,
and like make it the
Oh
whole way
no, I
through.
wanted this so bad as well.
And
I
then he
think my
just gets
brother
like
got really pissed off
I
when
would,
when he
yeah,
said this.
I
He
was,
actually, I got really pissed off as well.
and I
So,
was so upset
so.
when he died. It's like really exciting. It's like a, but it was just so disappointing because he was such a like lovable character.
Hmm.
But
Like eh,
yeah, go on.
there's like you know how everybody has like flaws or something. Obviously, he had like flaws, but I couldn't find anything to hate about him unless it was his like. I mean, he didn't really lack confidence or anything. It was just more like,
he just had really bad mommy issues.
Yeah.
yeah, that. But it was a little bit funny, but also he does overcome it in the end, and you can't help but feel really good about it watching him like do his thing, and he was
Yeah.
really good at his thing. Plus, the whole polka dot thing. It's such a weird concept of a power, but it's so cool. Like
It
I,
feels
I
like an
actually
yeah.
like how it is
It feels
because
like an
it
anime
made me
power.
think. Yeah, it made me think that's probably what inspired the spot thing in the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse because
What?
they're way too similar. I think
Uh,
genuinely
um,
the
but,
spot was inspired by Polka Dot Man.
well, the
There
spot
is no two ways about it.
the spot actually appeared in comics like decades ago, and um,
Oh, dang
Well, I
it.
think
the
I
spot
think
the spot appeared in like the 80s Spider-Man animated series, and actually had a very similar plot to Spider-Verse, where he's like across different dimensions.
yeah, I think it's not so much the fact that like Polka Dot Man inspired the spot, but like I'd argue the kind of road that they kind of went in the fact that like everyone I think everyone had kind of seen the spot as like a joke character for years. And so the road that they went with him in the movie, in that he's kind of played a bit as a joke character, but then as he gets more control of his powers, he becomes more and more like genuinely menacing.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, it is kind of well, it's not like indirectly, it is technically Miles's fault that he became the Spot, and also we find out that Miles wasn't even meant to be Spider-Man anyways in
It's the
that
fact as
universe.
well that like I think this is something my dad pointed out after I watched the movie is that like he literally gets like he literally gets like god powers as a result of like this thing. And so when he goes and when he like reaches his final form basically, instead of going, "Oh, well, like instead of having this moment of clarity where he could be like, "Oh, I could like use this for good or to like fix myself." He's still just like that like down bad basically that he just still wants to ruin Miles's life.
I mean, like, okay, so I think talked talked about this before. I don't know. I've talked to Zebo about this like in person. Like, I did not really care for Across the Spider Verse.
I want to say I think I remember you mentioning
Yeah,
actually.
you did. You mentioned that quite a while ago. Probably not in the podcast, I'm not sure, but you did mention it, and I think we were all shocked just a little bit because it's like,
Yeah, I mean,
are you sure, man? Like, it was pretty good.
I mean, I mean, like I'm like, disregarding like the animation because I can't deny it's extremely well made. Like that's just a objectively like impressive feat from that aspect. But in terms of the writing, I feel I'll just be brief about this. But I feel like the biggest flaw is with the Spider Society because I feel that the Spider Society is too big to have such an agreeable consensus that we should just let people die from Spider Man. It just seems so out of place. And what doesn't help is the fact that they've appropriated iconography to basically suggest that PS4 Spider Man and the Spectacular Spider Man both agree to this principle. And
I mean, I wouldn't really think about it anyways. I'm just glad they're in there.
well,
But
Yeah, like I think
now that you mentioned that, you know what made me think about it when I saw the PS4 Spider-Man? I was like, where's Miles Morales then from the
oh
Spider-Man game?
yeah, when
that's
you
Shouldn't
say
another
he
that,
be
it's just
technically
like
in there?
surely it'd be
plot
like
hole.
Because
surely
I
it'd
was
be like
thinking,
hey, full
where is he
Spider-Man
then?
and like
Because I thought it'd be funny if Miles Morales saw him in 3D form and just like look at each other Like that would have been such a good moment in the film.
Well, I mean, they did it
You
with
could have
Donald.
worked
Maybe he'll
around
be
it.
in.
They did it with Donald Glover because Donald Glover was supposed to play Miles at one point, and like he's
Yeah,
live
it
action
was.
in the.
He's a prowler though, but still, yeah.
Yeah, so they kind of did that, but it's just like my whole like
They like
problem.
made the reference.
Like I feel like the film would have been way better if it was like a legit, because like when first says it's like a small strike force, and I feel if it was actually small, like no more than maybe like 5 or 7 spider people who agree, and then you can choose like the most like extreme versions of Spider-Man across the comics and across the multiverse, who would actually agree with what Miguel is doing. It just seems so illogical for the character that is defined by like with great power comes great responsibility, and everything that each of these spider people presumptively like knows and has learned to just be like, oh yeah, we trade lives here.
I'm gonna make a really dumb argument here. I'm gonna make like a proper like cope argument, but I'm gonna say, so I don't know if either of you have ever seen this video.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say, what if with the Spider Society, it's something like that, where like Spider-Man PS4 is there, but it's the Spider-Man PS4 who's never met Miles and would probably like completely agree with what
Oh no, that's exactly what they're doing.
yeah. So it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like it's not the same version from the game, but it's a like a variant
No,
of the
but
Spider-Man
my
from
issue is that like the fact that they've had this character, it insinuates that it is. The fact that it's not, I mean, the fact that it isn't, and I just remember that you got 60 Spider-Man in there as well. But
yeah.
you have like,
But you also got Japanese Spider-Man in there, so
Um,
which should have. You know what?
I
This
mean,
should have
Japanese
been. In the-
Spider-Man,
a Japanese
Japanese
Spider-Man would
Spider-Man
definitely
wasn't
be there for
there.
this.
He's
No, I'm
yeah.
actually so disappointed about that. Sorry to interrupt, but the fact that they had the cartoon Spider-Man and even I swear they had Spider-Man in there, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think Spider-Man's like in the background somewhere.
so,
Like
so they know about the memes that Spider-Man made. You probably
I
if Venom was a part of it as well because they already made memes about Venom, right? Um, the fact that they didn't have Japanese Spider-Man, there's no way anyone in that team didn't know about
I
Japanese
think
Spider-Man.
I think
Because
that I honestly think they're saving him because they actually did say that Japanese Spider-Man would be in it and he's not, which I think means he's going to be in part 2.
I hope so, because I think it would be really funny for him to just use a gun, but like simulate what he did in his own show. So
Yeah.
when the girl jumped off the building, instead of saving her like Spider-Man would, he runs down the stairs.
He's
He
got
runs down the stairs and then just sees a lifeless body. He doesn't swing down, he runs down the stairs.
I was just about
That's amazing, even for like
he's got
Japan. I don't
he's got a
I don't think
Gundam
a
as
Japanese
well.
Spider-Man can do that.
Yeah, I was just about to say that like the irony of the situation is that I believe that Japanese Spider-Man would actually be completely on board with Miguel's plan. He's like the only Spider-Man in like that has been put to screen that I believe would actually agree with Miguel, and he's the only one who
Like-
isn't in there.
Like if you think about it, Spider-Man with a gun trying to stop Miles Morales is completely justifiable because everyone's trying to stop Miles Morales. That was the entire point.
Like, you
So
see,
like,
Yeah. What if like
imagine-
a
oh yeah, they're all shooting
Spider-Man
webs,
like
and then Miles is getting shot with a gun. Like it would be so funny to me because it's just so out of pocket.
you're
Like,
too,
why doesn't he have web powers? I was like, and then he just speaks in Japanese, like just trying to shoot you.
you're too late, Spider-Man. Weed has been legalized.
But I think as well. Oh my god. With Venom. Maybe I don't know if they'll make a Venom Easter egg or something because when I was playing the new Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, my brother did the whole glitch where you would get out of bounds of Venom, and if you go to the Wakanda thing, Venom does the Wakanda salute, and I just found it really funny because it reminded me of a meme
Well, he has
where
less.
yeah, or like what are my pronouns? What are Venom's pronouns? Oh, it's they them because we are literally two. You know, and I don't want to say the word, but it was so
Yeah.
funny. And I was thinking this ties back to the Wakanda thing
We're
because
they there, not because
they
we
must
are
have-
not because we are non-binary, but because we are literally
Two
two
fellas.
gentlemen.
two gentlemen. So we need someone else to say that word. But
I mean, you could probably.
it turns out
I mean, I could be that guy, but I'm not gonna.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
I'm black
it-
before you ask.
but yeah, like so I would like to see it in part two. If they do have Japanese Spider-Man, I genuinely think that's going to be like the main thing of the movie. Everyone's going to be talking about it. I also think I don't know what other parts of Spider-Man there could be like.
I mean, there was always a
I
rumor
was
that like
thinking.
Toby and that we're going to be showing up.
Hmm.
Uh,
Actually, I was thinking maybe the PS1 games because they did the PS4 games, so they could have like the PS1 game Spider-Mans as well, but just
They
have them
really
like
should.
you know.
They really should actually. Like, I feel like PS1 Spider-Man's kind of like enough of a meme.
I mean, I didn't even know it was a meme. I thought it was really funny because when I used to play it, I think it was the first PS1 Spider-Man game. If you like swung a web and you swung across building to building, you're not actually the web isn't swinging on anything because they didn't do that yet until Spider-Man 2, where you had to actually swing onto a building. Um, yeah, so you're literally webbing into the air and going through. And again, I thought that would be like a funny joke for the animators to do, where they would literally just do the web in like really pixelated form, and Miles will see it and go, "That doesn't even make any sense." And it's just like really low poly Spider-Man trying to trying to get
Yeah,
his way.
honestly, they should.
but I mean, like you don't want to. Cause, like I feel like the Across the Spider-Verse kind of lent in just a bit, but you don't want it to become like Rick and Morty jokes.
Yeah.
It's like it's because like that happens like sometimes like in Across Spider-Verse like, oh look at me, I'm Western Spider-Man.
It's me, I'm the Spider-Man from the universe
Who had cancer.
I don't know.
I imagine
Isn't
there
that
was
an
like a
actual
Middle Eastern.
timeline where he just gets like radioactive poisoning from?
Yeah. This is one comic which I've seen like a meme from where it's like
Is this the one where he killed Mary Jane?
no,
Or
it's
no?
when like Spider-Man, I think the main one goes and to like a group of spider people who like in like control of like some council, and it goes like, why is my life so shit? And then they all respond with how great their lives are, and then and then afterwards like 616 Spider-Man's like, my life fucking sucks, and then one of them goes like oh yeah, like I think I might be misremembering this, but it's like goes something along the lines of it's like, oh yeah, I'm rich, but I got cancer, so there. So
So it
it's,
doesn't really matter in the end.
yes, it's like, oh yeah, our lives are great. Yeah, I'm rich. I also have cancer, so it's just
To be honest, I
Wait,
wonder if
wait.
there was like a
No.
Middle Eastern Spider-Man or something.
a what?
A Middle Eastern Spider-Man.
I mean, like Spider-Man
But
India gets close.
well, yeah, kind of close.
Well, I mean, geographically, I mean, like
I
South
mean,
Asian
there was a
Spider-Man.
hijabi Spider-Man, right? Spider-Woman. I
It,
swear I saw a hijabi in there.
I think that was the one who was also like disabled and used crutches to swing around.
Wow, they really went for the diversity, didn't they? They were like, not only are we gonna make her not white, we're gonna make her disabled as well because we might as well put it in there.
Yeah, I think the meme is like a black
I mean,
disabled trans lesbian.
I mean, that can like I think the idea at the end of the day is like anyone can be under the suit. You can be absolutely
I
anyone.
mean, I kind of hate that idea. I don't like that. It's like I like on a personal note, I really don't like mantles, and I think DC is better at doing mantles because of like how much time passes between like each character. Because like like as an example, with Spider-Man, right? You have like Peter
Oh, yeah?
Parker, who's been like the main Spider-Man for like being like entire history, and then in the last like 20 years, you have like hundreds of other Spider people that are just introduced now.
Oh yeah, I think there's such thing as like having too many Spider-Men,
Yeah,
but I
but
also think like that's the idea. Like the whole idea of Spider-Verse is it's like there's a shit ton of different timelines where I don't know for some reason or another like the spider bit someone else or whatnot,
yeah,
and like
I mean,
like it's just a bit of fun I think, and it kind of leans to that whole idea of the fact that Spider-Man is a dude in like a completely like full body suit, so like anyone. So it kind of, in a sense, like kids love superheroes, and a lot of kids probably look up and then kind of go like, I want to be like Spider-Man or whatever. But like,
Yeah,
so it kind of leans into that idea that anyone can be behind the suit. But in terms of like storytelling and stuff, it's always nicer to just like keep the focus. If it's like one timeline, then it's better to keep the focus on like Peter and Miles, and then not try to like muddy the water with like too many Spider-Men if it's
well,
just like one timeline.
I just mean like I feel like a good example is like the legacy of the Flash, because in
Hmm.
the Golden Age of comics, you had Jay Garrick who was the original Flash, and then it's like 20 years later, you had Barry Allen take up the mantle of being the Flash, and then that was separated. So like Jay Garrick was like on Earth 2, and then
Yeah,
Barry Allen
yeah,
was Earth 1, so that was a separation. And then 20 years later, Barry dies in Crisis, and then Wally West becomes the Flash for like
hmm.
20 years. Like in real time, he was he was the main Flash for 20 years because Barry Allen was dead. And
Yeah,
so you had like a period of about 60 to like 80 years where the Flash mantle was being passed along, but it was in like intervals of like 20, 30 years at a time.
yeah.
And then in like the modern day, after the New 52, um, like Barry became the main Flash again, and then in Rebirth a few years later, Wally West came back because when New 52 started, they made Wally West a kid again, but
Hmm.
even though in like the last universe he had like a family and kids, and like he also was like race change, and his name became so basically his entire history was gone. But that's like saying like in a new universe. Oh yeah, Bruce Wayne Batman. He's just not Batman anymore, even though he was Batman for the entire for like 40 years. It's like
Yeah.
it's like in the 60s if like they just retired Bruce Wayne as Batman.
Yeah, it's like if it's like if it's like if in the 60s they retired Bruce Wayne as Batman and then say made like Dick Grayson Batman,
Yeah,
and
and
then literally for years, for literally like decades, people grew up with Dick Grayson as Batman, and then they just decided, actually, but we're just going to erase all of that, so now you're just back to like Bruce Wayne, but no one has any attachment to Bruce Wayne because like he's just some guy
I mean,
I
basically.
mean,
wasn't that the whole premise of Batman Beyond though? He does gain new person, and
I
that
mean,
person.
yeah,
well,
but like what I
that's like an
mean
Elseworld,
is,
and that was like
yeah.
after he had like 6 seasons of a TV show. Hold on, I'll be right back. You guys continue for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I think the idea is uh, I don't know if we're still on record actually. I mean
Yeah,
I've
we're
got
still
my
being recorded.
backup recording anyway, so I think the idea is more so like because like Batman Beyond did it, and like it's not about like handing on the mantle as much as it's like it's if say if say like Batman Beyond came out in like the 60s, and then like for literally decades people actually grew up with that version of
Mhm.
Batman,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
and
back.
then like
Sorry.
years later, and then years later they turned around and then they just kind of went, actually, we're bringing back the old Batman, but then like no one's attached to or cares about that
um,
Batman anymore because they've
I-
had no real time to,
yeah.
because like literally only like people in the 60s, like literally like it's like if like Bruce Wayne stopped being like Batman after like the Adam West Batman, and then like they brought him back now in like a new movie, and it's like, wait, why do
Um,
we care about this guy?
I feel like this analogy is kind of like gone off track because that's kind of not the point I was trying to make. I think Batman's a really
Ah,
bad example. So
okay, okay.
the, I'll try again. I think my point was that was uh with like the Flashes once Barry came back because they rebooted the whole universe, and then but because of that, Wally West his whole history was basically erased. So in an event called Rebirth, they brought Wally West back and made the Black Kid Flash. He's actually Wallace West. So
Ah,
so they kind of like separated like that. The
Wallace.
so the current Flash in the comics, I know because my brother collects Flash, is Wally, and it's like Wally and Barry, like
Hmm.
because like the way you can
Oh,
tell,
so they both like coexist, or
yeah, they both coexist, but like the way you can tell them apart is Wally has they basically have the same Flash suit, but Wally has like white eyes, like a cowl, but like Barry's has like slits where you can see his actual eyes. So that's how you would like tell them apart.
Okay.
But the point I forgot the point I was trying to make. I guess the point
So
I
I
was
only know like bits and pieces about like. Didn't you?
like I guess the point I was trying to make was like there like in the comics there's only ever like one Flash at a time until extremely recently, and that was because like they were on a different planet or different Earth or one of them was dead, and like. But I feel like the best way that it has.
I see.
Yeah, I think the best way it has been done with like mantles and stuff is with the Green Lanterns, because like because you had Alan Scott.
But that's their whole like order, aren't they?
Well, I mean, the first Green Lantern was Alan Scott, and he was like the Golden Age with like the like Jay Garrick, Flash, and like all like the Golden Age heroes. But it was later on when Hal Jordan was introduced. That's when the Green Lantern Corps became like the whole like the entire organization was like brought into the comics. I don't know if in like modern comics Alan Scott is part of the Green Lantern Corps or if he has his powers that are completely separate. But but like with ever since Hal Jordan, which was like I don't know when Hal Jordan's first appeared, probably like in he was the silver. I think he was in the Silver Age, so he's at least like 60 years old in comics. But when that was introduced, it was first introduced as, oh yeah, there are like thousands of Green Lanterns all across the universe. So anytime they introduce a new Green Lantern, it's like, this is plausible. Versus, like because there are like in the most recent Spider-Man cartoon, there's like 10 different Spider people operating at the same time, and
it's just a bit like muddy, you know. It's just like
we don't need this many. These characters aren't that interesting. And that's just like how I feel about mantles. I think DC does it better, but like they don't like do it perfectly. It's like there shouldn't be 3 fucking Superman books running at the same time with 3 different characters, which is currently going on, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like agree, basically, but I also kind of like I don't really mind having like characters sort of like coexist under a mantle if it's like, for instance, I thought like I don't mind how like, for instance, like Spider-Man, like the games, like I don't really mind how they handle it, because I think that's like, you know, it kind of like leans into the idea of like, you know, like 2 guys have like the same powers, they know they have the same powers, and they kind of, you know, they sort of like coexist and work together, and so now there's just like 2 Spider-Men, and it's like no one really cares. I think if you had like a whole like team of like 20 different Spider-Men or something, that's like when it would get a bit too like muddy for me and stuff. But I don't really mind the idea of like characters coexisting under the same mantle.
I mean, I would just rather like for example, Miles had like a different name, like or even a different prefix. Because like when you talk about like Spectacular Spider-Man, you're talking about like the 2-season cartoon.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about Superior Spider-Man, you're talking about when Doc Ock had control of like Peter's body. And it's like that's how like you did, like the Amazing Spider-Man would be like you're referencing the one from like the Andrew Garfield movies.
Yeah, like you could
and like
say like he was the Ultimate Spider-Man for a bit, but then like does that erase the Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker?
Well, that's the thing, because the Ultimate Spider-Man was Peter Parker before in that universe.
Before he died.
Yeah, so I guess the closest thing off the top of my head, like Miles would be like the new Ultimate Spider-Man. But it's just like having a definitive descriptor. I would feel would just like personally like make me feel better about it, because with the Green Lanterns,
it would be easier to like differentiate him.
Yeah, because like,
without just calling him like, I mean, I just call him the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's kind of lame though.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, so with like the Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan is the only Green Lantern on Earth who has a secret identity. It's like John Stewart and Guy Gardner. They're referred to by those names because they're public figures.
Yeah.
What? So people know that they're the Green Lantern, or they just know their names?
I don't know, like John Stewart and Guy Gardner, people know they're Green Lanterns. just in the world. Hal Jordan is the only one out of the three to have a secret identity because he's the only one out of the three who wears a mask. Hello?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Still there.
So like the Green Lanterns, like so like John and Guy are referred to as John and Guy, which I think like helps
Helps like differentiate.
yeah, because I think Kara Rayner has a secret identity, but like when you're dealing with Green Lanterns as like it's like in terms of importance, you probably go like Hal, John, Guy, and maybe Alan because he's the first. It's like the other like newer Green Lanterns have fans, but like I feel like if you were to give Green Lantern fans, okay, Green Lantern movie, which Green Lantern are we doing? And the answer is either going to be John or Hal.
Yeah, like for me, I think because I grew up watching like the Justice League cartoon,
Yeah,
so I grew up with like John as like my Green Lantern, basically.
yeah, like same as, but like I do quite like Hal Jordan. But like what I think is really good. So like, moving on to how much you guys know about James Gunn's like DC universe and all the announcements.
I know bits and pieces. I've been like following like a lot of the announcements. I don't remember all of them now, but I just know like
Like
the
yeah, the reason I bring it up is because there is going to be a TV show called Lanterns, and it's going to focus on both Hal Jordan and John Stewart, which I think is probably the perfect like option that you can do because no, like
well, it allows you
everyone's
to
happy.
like. I think it allows you to have like both and allows you to like have them like play off each other and like introduce them to like a bigger audience. Because I think a lot of people as well. I'm not gonna lie. Nowadays, when I think about Green Lantern, I think about the Ryan Reynolds movie, and like that's probably not like I'd argue that Green Lantern just as like a comic character and stuff needs a bit of I'd say a bit of a reinvention in the way that Aquaman needed one, or like not a reinvention, but like a reintroduction. You know?
Yeah, reintroduction because like I feel like Green Lantern and Aquaman are fine in the comics, and like the Jason Momoa Aquaman is a deviation, but I feel like Aquaman would still be a strong character even if it was more like faithful.
Yeah.
But having both like Hal and John are it has like main characters like a buddy cop duo with like Hal being more jokey and cocky and John being more stoic. I think is just it just basically writes itself as like a police show with like the experienced like chill guy and the inexperienced like hard ass. Kind of a
like
version of that.
good cop, bad cop, kind of.
Yeah, but like
sort of, not really, but like
with the twist being the more experienced one is the more like a flashy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're actually getting Guy Gardner as well, which has been confirmed and cast.
Yeah, he's what's his face? Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner. Hold on.
Which I think is great casting.
Oh yeah, like talk amongst yourself for a second. I'm just gonna get an image of like the Superman castings because I think they're really interesting to talk about.
Yeah. I've seen like the Superman castings, and I think it's given me like a lot of faith in the project. Like I'm not.
I mean,
not
is
like
it meant to be like Henry Cavill in, or something like that?
It's not. It's a new guy because they're moving away from like the like old DCEU.
David Conswet, I believe that's his name.
What's the actor? Nicholas Hoult is Lex Luthor. After going for both Superman and Batman, he ended up being Lex. But I think he passes for like a really good bald evil guy. So
yeah, I'm trying to find a good image because I saw this like this image where it had like the entire cast and like a big spread.
actually, I have a good talking point, but I don't know if it's like straying a bit too off. It's about like the new DC stuff, but
Yeah, go for it. What are you thinking?
So I don't know if you've heard about so Matt Reeves' stuff is a separate timeline. So like the Batman 2,
Penguin, that's still coming out, I think.
Penguin, yeah. But apparently Matt Reeves' arc Arkham TV series
Oh,
now
yeah, I heard about
is
that.
going to be part of the DCU, which kind of makes me a bit I guess kind of makes me a bit worried that like there's some behind the scenes stuff going on, or like maybe some creative differences going on between like the two timelines.
I mean, like, I'm pretty. I think I've saw like Matt Reeves is like excited for it to be part of
Yeah, which I mean, if so, that's like totally cool. I was like excited to see, because I was excited to just get more stuff to like flesh out like Matt Reeves's version of Gotham. And obviously I get now there's a cinematic universe that, so obviously I get that there has to be more
Well,
content
I
for that.
mean,
But
I get that, but like he's also got like the Penguin series, which is going to stay in that universe,
hmm,
so he can do that in.
true, true.
And like I think this gives him the opportunity to like have to play around with a like more grounded Batman as well as a more fantastical Batman as well. So we get to see both
Yeah,
sides from the same director.
because I think Matt Reeves is actually I want to say he's producing the new Batman cartoon as well. The new
Okay, I found a good one. There we go.
I think he's producing the new
Cape Crusader, I think it's called.
Bruce Timm, yeah, Batman cartoon.
Yeah, but J.J. Abrams is on the project as well, but I don't really have much faith in J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. Well, I think that like Matt Reeves, J.J. Abrams, Bruce Timm, like they're all attached. I'm not a huge fan of J.J. Abrams' Star Wars, but
Yeah,
but I'm kind of like I've still got like a lot of faith in the project.
yeah,
But yeah, we got the
yeah, so like that's the I think that's a cast so far. I think yeah, that's a cast so far for Superman Legacy. And after James Gunn's like the Suicide Squad and how like faithful
yeah
and accurate like that is, this cast looks basically perfect from like
yeah
what I'm looking at.
like
Like
it's like you can
Yeah,
picture them
I'm
just
liking
being
what I'm seeing. Yeah.
yeah, it's like
like
it, yeah, I
I think
think
like the cast is perfect so far. It's just like the costume design. I think when you see them in like costume, it will be one of those like Suicide Squad moments where it's just like this is exactly what like
yeah. Apparently the Superman suit is done. We're just waiting it for it to be like officially released.
hmm,
Like they've made it. But so here's the thing. Are we pro Trunks or anti Trunks?
pro Trunks.
Trunks as in
Superman's the
the
costume.
swimming trunks.
Yeah, as in like
I mean,
Superman having underwear like over his costume.
so I'll be honest with you about that, right? Because I've always wondered about that as a kid, where like they're essentially wearing underwear, sorry, like Batman and Superman, right? But
Hmm.
then if you think about it, the way that they were made in mind, like the costume, I forgot his name, but the person who actually designed Superman and all these other
Oh, sorry, you cut off
everything.
again.
Sorry.
Yeah, do you want to repeat what you just said? Because you cut out a little bit.
Yeah, so you know how like they're actually designed in comics,
Yeah.
like the character designs, and it's meant to show off their muscles, even though they're wearing spandex. Um, the whole trunks thing, the underwear thing, kind of like threw me off a little bit, but in the end, it does make sense because the original, I think the original artist mentioned that if you think about it, they're like wearing body paint, but they're not really wearing body paint. They're technically wearing spandex, but it's made to look like they're only wearing body paint. So with the whole trunks thing, it kind of does make sense because you really wouldn't want a bulge of his, that.
Yeah.
Interesting,
So
interesting theory. But like the origin of
mm,
like the trunks is because like back in like the 20s and 30s, circus strongmen. That's the kind of outfit that they would wear.
Yeah.
So like with someone like Superman, like he's a strongman, so his costume is inspired by like the strongmen of the circus. That's where that originates from.
ooh,
So it's like the
that's actually not bad.
so yeah, so it's like either way, it's like the suit's designed to just like completely show off like the physique of
Yeah,
like the
but
characters. Like I can
I mean, yeah, I think that's for every superhero or villain. Like, it's kind of the main reason why, like, but that's actually one of the main reasons why, like, Batman 1960, like 1960s Batman so much with Adam West. Like, that
yeah,
guy did
it's
not
just
have a physique,
completely
but my God, was it funny to just watch an old, no, like, not even an old man, a man with a dad bod, like like kicking everyone's ass, and then well, Catwoman comes in and she's like actually like the best part of the show, and they just hit it off and everything like that. That's probably the main reason why I like Batman 1960 so much more than everything else. It's just like, yeah, this is what happens when a real person is wearing spandex. There's no muscles, it's just antics, and it's like really good fun. Like exactly with that GIF, yeah. I watched this similar episode. When I saw the nuns, that killed me because I was just like, I was just like,
My
this really threw me off for a loop. Because I was watching another clip of Columbus or no, so not Columbus, sorry,
Columbo.
Columbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like nuns don't work on Sundays. And he just he just shoots someone off the cliff. I was just thinking,
Yeah.
wait.
My my favorite bit in like 60s Batman is there's like this whole bit where Catwoman drugs Batman and Robin, and they're just like sort of like awkwardly stood there, like just slowly like fading out of consciousness. And Robin's just sort of like, "Oh, I guess this is why you can never trust a woman." And then Batman just like as he's like fading out of consciousness, just takes this whole time just to scold Robin
Like
for like being
Robin's being
sexist.
based here, Batman. A based comment.
Have you guys seen that the one clip where like Batman and Robin are tied up and Batgirl shows up and then talks about getting paid equally?
I don't know if I've actually seen that, but
It's really good. Basically, like Batman just ends it by saying no, no time for silly questions.
No time for
But
jokes,
wait,
Batgirl.
the Robin one. What did he exactly say? This is why you can't trust women or something. I
yeah,
think I
wait,
remember.
I've got the clip in
Oh,
uh
I mean, yeah, but that's why you can never trust a woman. Oh yeah. I'll be honest as well, like unrelated note, but the set design in 1960s Batman was, I think, obviously you have to give it, because of the era it was in, like things were different, but I believe the set design of Batman, uh, of that time was really, really cool. It was just super colorful. It wasn't like,
yeah.
I know nowadays Batman is like drab and dark and dreary because they took it in a dark tone, but this is what I wanted to come back to. I think we should go back to like colorful Batman where everything is just really dumb, like to the point where you can't help but just like it.
Yeah, I think it like perfectly encapsulates like Golden Age
Mm.
Well, it's
Batman.
more like Silver Age, really, because
Oh, Silver
yeah,
Age.
but
Yeah.
yeah, do you guys remember Batman Brave and the Bold, the cartoon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
basically I would call that
An
a
evolution.
cartoon version of this because it pretty much was.
Hmm.
Yeah, but they're like so with the because apparently with the Batman 2, like Matt Reeves has said that he's gonna like the bat suit is gonna like evolve, and like as well as with the Brave and the Bold from James Gunn, I'm hoping that we get like a blue bat suit because we've had black for so long in
Yeah.
terms of live action.
I think a blue batsuit, yeah, that would be. I mean, didn't what's his face? Didn't
Affleck in the Flash had it.
Affleck, yeah.
It was kind of blue, but like not really what we're looking for.
Yeah. And from what I saw as well, the suit didn't really look very good.
He
if
had
I'm
like
being
he had like
honest.
weird like Technic armor,
Yeah.
but like more than a blue batsuit, I want a yellow emblem.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'm thinking of is like in Matt Reeves's sort of universe. I'd love for it to like start to take on some of the more like fantastical elements, but I also feel like his suit's really designed for like practicality.
Yeah, but
Um,
after the
and
first
I'm
one,
not sure.
he's like more like he's more like open to being a more like public hero where he's like saving people.
Yeah,
So like I think something that'd be a really cool compromise with maybe the cowl and the cape gets a little bit more blue and his like the like batarang inside his chest, which forms the emblem, becomes like gold.
yeah,
Or like one or the other. If like I would be happy if in the new one the suit is exactly the same, except from like the batarang embedded into his chest is like
it's like
a bit of yellow, like it's like
yeah,
got a gold tinge. I think that would be really cool because I think the gold or like yellow really helps emphasize
I feel like
Simple.
the like gold or like the yellow would like look cool, but I'm also thinking like, wouldn't it like if he's trying to be stealthy, wouldn't it make it like a bit too visible, or like if it's like super reflective, you know?
Well, I mean, he could have it
I
gold
mean,
one side and black the other side, and turn it and take it out and turn it around.
Maybe,
a
yeah.
reversible belt or something. I
Reversible
mean,
battering.
I do like the color scheme. I think the color scheme, it was made in the show in mind. That's what I believe, because obviously everything was colorful. It would make sense for him to be in all black, because this Batman wasn't Dark Knight. He was basically
Yeah.
Batman.
He was just
And
Batman
by the way,
moving around,
I
like
found like another quote of you know, that part where he says, "I guess you can never trust a woman." Batman before Robin says that, Batman literally says to Robin, "When you get a little older, you'll see how easy it is to become lured by the female of the species." It sounds like Batman is an incel, and yet it's
oh,
like it's so dumb. Like, read, reading that is like I would say, even though it's made a hasty generalization, right? It's
made a Batman.
I didn't know Batman was an incel, man. Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, Robin looks a lot.
What?
And like they watched his parents die at like a very young age. While still like trauma and shit. And I feel like the Robert Pattinson one, I think, because it's I think it really reflects that really well.
Even with the memes, like
Even with the
I-
memes.
that was another thing. Like I was watching like certain parts, like the Joker now to back then the Jokers. I think Joker and basically any other villain from 1960s, yeah, they need to come back as well, because they were just pretty much crazy. They were kind of batshit, for lack of, well, like shit crazy, but
Yeah.
you could still be entertained by them. Whereas the newer Jokers, like the newer Joker, like for example in the Arkham games, he literally shoots someone in the spine and paralyzes them forever.
Oh,
I
this
just went, yeah,
this
yeah,
is
it kills, doesn't kill Oracle, shoots Oracle in the spine, which is kind of fucked up. But,
that's from
yeah.
Like, funny thing is, I'm actually playing through the Arkham games right now.
Oh,
Like I've been playing Arkham Knight for the last like week.
oh, okay, then yeah, yeah, you're gonna like that.
I've read blogs
Obviously
about
that
that.
was in the.
I'm like 70% through of the main story.
Okay,
But like
then yeah, you're pretty much good.
but
But yeah, like one thing I would not like though is, you know, in Batman Forever, I think it's Batman Forever, his suit in that was just so weird. It had bat nipples.
Like the nipples,
Yeah.
yeah. It's either
Like,
like Forever or Batman and Robin.
it's both.
I can't, yeah, both.
Yeah, but
like again, I think that movie has its right to exist. It's like bad in, no, it's bad in a good way. You know, like
It's
it's bad, but you still
it's
want to watch it.
iconically bad. Like
Yeah, like
Batman and Robin has like Arnold Schwarzenegger as the as Mr. Freeze.
like, and Jim Carrey as the Riddler, which
Jim Carrey as the Riddler, yeah.
yeah, you know what? He is actually pretty good as the Riddler if the Riddler was trying to be like the Joker, if that made sense.
Mm.
But
well, I mean,
also, Robin being so teenage angst is actually way funnier than it should
Like
be.
he's like a
It's
grown man. Like
like you're a grown man and you know Poison Ivy is bad, and you still fall for her. Like, this is the incel Batman that was like,
I mean,
incel Batman wouldn't let you have this. You know, these females are trying to kill you, Robin.
in the film's defense,
Yeah.
Poison Ivy is literally controlling them. That's literally her power.
Yeah, like uh, I think with Poison Ivy as well, just like the whole thing about controlling men. Um, this was really funny. One of my friends was talking about it. He was talking about femcells, and I think he brought it up. I think it's something like, I feel like they would attach them to Poison Ivy because of the power she has, over men, because she can like control them. I was like, I was just thinking about it, like, so wait, do they want to be like, do they want to control men because they're femcells, or like are they trying to be like more like are they trying to be like this whole femme fatale thing because they're insecure about something? But yeah, if that's the effect Poison Ivy had on people, then I'm actually shocked. But then again, I'm not so shocked because now we've got people wanting to be Robert Pattinson's Batman.
But yeah, like Poison Ivy in like I don't know if you guys heard. There's a new Suicide Squad game coming out in a month or two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Are
Have
we
you?
discussing like the leaks?
If you want to, because I've seen them and like
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
they're very
I've seen
interesting.
like bits and pieces of them, and like
I mean, I've seen like the main stuff. If you, I assume you guys aren't gonna play it.
No, I mean, if it goes down in price, because it's not about not playing it, it's about getting the time to play games anymore. Like I do have games on my laptop right now, but I just wanna like, that's the reason why I'm looking for a part-time job, not because of wanting to play games, but of the stuff that I want to do, for myself. And
I mean, would you care about spoilers about the leaks, or should we just, or do you want to avoid that?
you know what? Let's avoid the leaks for now, because
Cool.
I'm feeling really good about it, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough then.
But
I'll leave it. We can wait.
oh my god. Sorry to interrupt. Zebo put. Oh my
Yeah.
god, this image. Oh man, the fact that I know, like,
half these
I think
people,
at least
like
two of these people in there. No, three. No, sorry, two of them are the same person. So two of them. Yeah, you do not want to know the bottom left and the
I know
middle.
the bottom left, and I think I know the middle
Every
as well.
If you
Actually,
know the bottom left, then I think you need a detox of the internet. If you know the middle, then uh, then you know who to avoid whenever you're dating someone. So I'll give the backstory on the middle one. I think she was the one that murdered her boyfriend,
yeah, and like took all like the photos and stuff. I've
and
watched
and
enough true crime content to see where this is
yeah,
going.
Ooh.
and it went through so much court case, like. And she tried to like pin it on the boyfriend, saying, "Oh, yeah, the boyfriend had like images of children in his phone," even though there was literally no evidence of that. There was nothing to like the boyfriend just got straight up killed. And then at the end, she's like crying through it. And I'm just thinking, I don't know why you're crying when you can literally just everyone told you, we know you're lying, we know you're guilty, the jig is up, you know. And the bottom left one, I think I might have forgotten it, but I'm gonna lose my credibility. I'm gonna lose my happiness of this. I think what she's a computer science major, and she hacked into people's accounts or something. Or
Bottom left, I thought was the person who was talking with Chris Chan.
oh yeah, yeah, and I saw her dad was part of the CIA or something, so she
Yeah,
was able to access everything using like hacking tools. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Imagine having a daughter. Imagine you working for MI6. You know what, Ethan? I'll put this on you. Imagine you had a daughter somehow, and like, uh, you were working in MI6 because MI6 thinks you're like a really good computer hacker spy,
Hmm.
whatever you're doing in MI6, and your daughter decides to take all the stuff that you use and put it on someone else. How would you feel?
Cool. If that somehow happened in that kind of scenario, so in this scenario, they basically stolen all of my skills and used it for like complete nonsense, right?
I think she was also like microwaving hamsters and just like
Oh,
reading that
that's even
shit.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I have no idea.
That person right there was not good.
Yeah, I have no idea how I would feel, but like real quick, I am curious about what you guys' thoughts on what do you guys think of like the actual Riddler in the movie?
Well, like the
Um,
Paul Dano Riddler.
Yeah,
I really liked him personally. That's just me. I think like as a character, I thought he was like um I thought it was like a really good way of like kind of I guess in a more not so much like a more grounded, but like a more I guess yeah, more kind of grounded or like modern saying. I thought it was a good way of like modernizing the character.
Maynard, what do you think of like the actual Riddler from the movie? Hello?
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think
Uh,
you cut out. So, what's your thoughts on like the
I'll be
Riddler?
I'll be honest. I thought the Riddler was fine and genuinely fine. I think it worked very well. Like the character was fine, but it was just that. I didn't see anything more than. It's gonna sound weird, but I only remember the Riddler very well because of the games, not because of the movies. And I think it's just because I have a bias towards the games itself. He had a bigger presence in that to me than anything else.
I guess I'm gonna be the odd one out. I kind of don't like the Riddler from the film. It just feels like it's just like not the same character, because in the film, his goal is to expose the corruption of like the Gotham elite, and I'm just sitting here like, that's not the Riddler's MO. Like the Riddler's whole stick is that he is like, or at least his origin from the animated series is that he basically had his ideas stolen and given none of the credit, so he wants to take revenge by proving he's like smarter than everyone else. But
I mean, I think to a certain extent, like his whole because I still need to read. Paul Dano's actually written a comic about like his version of the Riddler's like origin story, and I think like obviously it's a different timeline, it's a completely different timeline, so a different like setting, so a different origin. But I think the whole idea is like obviously like he grew up like there's meant to be that whole reflection of Batman, and I think of Batman and a lot of the characters, but the whole reflection of Batman and Riddler, and that they're like both orphans but with very different upbringings. And so I think the whole idea that the Riddler really like reinforces in his mind that he wants to be he wants people to know and to see him as like smarter than everyone else.
He has a compulsive need for attention. That's usually the connecting tissue. But like the problem that I have with the Riddler in the movie is that like none of that's really there. It's like there's not really a reason why he's using riddles, because his motivation isn't to try and prove anything. Because at this point in Batman's career, he's not a detective. Like this is the first detective work he's actually ever had to done, if I'm remembering correctly.
I don't.
Wait, are you saying Batman wasn't a detective, or
no? This was like because this is like year 2 Batman, and
oh yeah.
So like this is like the first actual detective work I think Batman has actually
I
had
don't
to do.
think so, because he's already got the Joker behind bars.
Well,
I think he has done.
We don't know if there's actually any connection between the guy in Arkham and like Batman at this point in time, because as far as we know, the Riddler is the first supervillain that Batman has had to take down.
I mean, to be honest, like with the Riddler though, what was his end goal? No, his end goal was to show that he was basically the smartest. So I guess
his motivation was he wanted to expose the corrupt elite of Gotham and flood the city as like revenge or something.
I think he I think he wanted I think his plans, I don't know, he's kind of got like a lot of different motivations, because I think he wanted to expose the Gotham elite, but that was kind of like not really like a means to an end, but sort of like
he says he was inspired by Batman, meaning he's doing this because he thinks it's like good.
So he wanted to expose the Gotham elite basically to get Batman's attention, because he kind of like he sees Batman like him. He's kind of like a fanboy at the end of the day, and when he realizes that Batman's not really all up for that.
I mean, he's kind of an incel. Like he has like fucking 4chan group rooms that like organize his plans.
The Reddit Riddler.
Basically, I just thought of something. Like you know how Batman and Harley Quinn was a series, and I'll be honest, I actually quite liked it. I like the whole point of Harley Quinn becoming sort of like a hero, but not super like a hero yet, like anti-hero kind of thing. I wouldn't mind to see. Yeah, sorry.
So are you talking about like the animated series? It's like 4 seasons in.
Yeah, the animated series.
Oh, I hate that show. I think it's awful.
Really? I found it. I found it honestly enjoyable. It was a good watch.
I've only seen little bits and pieces. I like the bit where she shoots a guy with a cancer ray.
That's really good. Like no, but instead of her shooting the cancer ray thing, the person who probably, sorry, I'm gonna say person, not guy, because a woman can make cancer rays too, guys. You know, keep it inclusive. They then could make a cancer ray.
Yeah, anyone can make a cancer ray.
This feels like the kind of person that's in the show all the time. That's my issue.
Yeah, the person who made the cancer ray what? Who got into? Why would you make a cancer ray? They're the real villains. Imagine having a gun that looks like a toy, and you just aim it at your friend just as a joke,
It
and
was
it's like, oh, this thing gave me cancer. Like, uh,
it was the
who does that?
supervillain. It was the supervillain Cancer Man.
I gave everybody cancer, and it's all incurable. I'm gonna give you HIV as well.
Probably
But,
he's worse than a Joker. He's probably the most evil person in Gotham.
look, no, I think the most evil people in Gotham is the IRS because I recently rewatched the entire
Oh,
Batman animated
yeah,
series,
even
and
the
when
Jokers.
when Joker got the fake, well, had to give the money to the IRS. He literally says like, "I can take on Batman, but the IRS." No, like even the Joker knows the IRS are no match, and it's true because in America, if you don't do your taxes properly, like you don't get someone to do it properly for you, or you don't do it yourself properly, the IRS is coming for you. And yeah, yeah, even Dan versus
Yeah, underrated
the
show.
IRS will come is true. They will send a very attractive woman to come and take your taxes. And I know this because I keep on serving them. They will never get me from my taxes, the HMRC. Her Majesty's women will never catch me. But yeah, getting back to the topic, I really think and Batman collaboration sort of like film really work. Because now that you mentioned with how the Riddler's sort of obsessed with Batman, there could be something where there's a new threat and using Riddler sort of they could like figure out the new threat through like puzzles and stuff. Because
Oh,
I
I
reckon.
genuinely
so have you seen?
the Riddler puzzles are so fun. They're so cool.
Yeah, but
Like I was watching again the animated series, and there was one that I actually got right, even though I never remembered even watching that episode. It's like they're in this computer game
yeah,
where
yeah, I remember that one.
Edward Nigma actually made it, right, years ago. And Robin's playing it, and then they get inside the actual game, the maze version of it, because well, Riddler built a maze.
Yeah.
And there's like one where it's in Arabic, right? And Batman reads it and goes, "It says which way to the eating place." And I went, "Oh, it's probably right." But Batman and Robin go left, and I go, "Why do I feel like that's wrong?" And turns out it was wrong because in the Middle East they eat food with their right hand. So I was actually right. But then again, that's due to my culture, though. So I was thinking to myself, "Oh shit, I thought I was smart already."
Yeah,
It's
there's
just stuff like that that just got me like thinking, yeah, Riddler could be really good on his own. I think with puzzles and stuff. If they made a good version of Riddler, he could just become a sort of
A vigilante.
a good guy. He works for Commissioner Gordon, and he solves puzzles, and everything
I
like
think
that. Can
Riddler with the right upbringing could have, but like I think the fact that like he just
yeah.
like I
Uh,
think yeah. Oh wait, I think you were gonna say something.
you can finish your thought.
Oh yeah, I was just saying like I think with the right upbringing, like I think he could have turned out like that. But I think again because he like had such a like bad upbringing, just being in like an orphanage and being kind of like bullied and stuff by everyone else, it kind of just drove him more and more to like that mindset where he's just like I hate everyone else and I am very smart basically, and he just
yeah,
believes
but
himself to be like yeah.
yeah, that it just makes me think though, because again, I'm basing off the animated series and stuff because I like the stories a lot more. But it makes you think of the villains. I think that's why I like the villain so much. Like you see Harley Quinn, and most people will casually see her as like a bad guy. But then once you learn that she
Yeah,
was
when you see her
literally a doctor,
backstory,
you know, she
yeah.
was literally a doctor. Riddler was. A Riddler is actually a smart person, but obviously he's got his ego and everything. Mr. Freeze, a scientist that lost his wife, and then
Yeah,
you got
it's
Baby
just
Doll. Baby Doll is such a good villain,
Yeah,
like to the point where I don't even think she should be a villain. It's just
yeah,
like
it's the whole like
it,
one bad day thing.
and like
Like,
Clayface and Two
yeah,
Face were the
like
same thing.
yeah,
yeah, Two Face, even Penguin. I think one of the best episodes, and I think it's in like the fourth season
Oh,
of
I know
the
what one you're
animated
talking
series.
about. Yeah, I know which one.
Yeah, Penguin actually tries to go back and be a good person, and the worst part is they don't
no
accept
one
him,
trusts him.
even though
Yeah,
he is trying his best. Like, and to me, it's like there's people out there who probably have felt like this, and they're like they can actually see themselves
Yeah.
in the penguin. Because I've met
Many
people in
play
my
it.
life who feel like they don't belong anywhere, and they're hated by everybody, or they feel like they're hated by everybody. So they're gonna act like the way they do, because who's gonna stop them? Like they can't change anyone's opinion, so let them have their opinion, and they'll be themselves. Not that they didn't want to change. It's just like they tried to. Nobody gave them the opportunity to let them be themselves, or let them change themselves. And yeah, now they're so bad people, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, what else? I think I'm not sure what other ones there is. I think Poison Ivy as well had their own episode. Basically, every villain had their own episode where they tried to reform.
I don't think Poison Ivy did. Like, I think it was like a ruse.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
No,
because
no,
like
no. Yeah, she got married or something, but she kind of
no, she
missed it. I think even Catwoman or something. So they all kind of missed what they were doing, because it technically brought them excitement,
in the
and
end.
I think that's another good thing as well. It's like I think for a kid show, like it really talked about a lot of stuff like when you're bored, or like when you feel like there's nothing going on in your life, what do you do? And you go back to the things that you really shouldn't have done, because it's not black and white. Like, of course, they want to go back to what they're doing, because they feel like their life was worth it at one point, being chased by the Batman.
I mean,
You know,
with Poison Ivy, I remember that episode because the thing she got married, but that was the reason because the husband was like a plant creature because she was trying to create life, but like because like she was like infertile, so she couldn't, and then her like powers didn't like basically interfered with her ability to conceive. I believe that was the plot, and that's like how it ended. Like because I guess you could interpret that as like she wanted to like turn relief, but like physically couldn't. I guess. I think that's how the episode turned out.
yeah. I mean, also like I don't know. When I was watching Poison Ivy episodes, technically she just wanted the planet to be free of like people who are like messing it up,
Well,
and
because
technically.
she's being a
Bruce
terrorist.
Wayne's rich people, or the rich people, are like, yeah, they were kind of messing it up, you know. So I
Yeah,
can't
like
really hate her on it, but she did kill a lot. She did kill the rich people, so I'm on two minds about this.
I think like the Gotham Elite and like the Gotham PD a lot of the time as well is just like extremely corrupt.
Well, it depends on like what time period you're looking at. So like Batman Year One, the GCPD is extremely corrupt, and
Yeah. But once
Gordon,
it's like under Gordon, yeah.
it becomes a lot better. But I just wanted to circle back to the Batman just to finish off because
Yeah.
I was getting to a point about the Riddler. Like everything the Riddler does, I feel is more associated with a different Batman villain called Anarchy. Because he hasn't shown up in like any media outside of uh Beware the Batman, which is like a short-lived CGI cartoon, which ain't very good.
Yeah.
And he appears in the Arkham games, and his whole deal is that like he's like anarchy, like you eat the rich kind of like any like the ends justify the means kind of character. And I feel like everything the Riddler does is more in line with what Anarchy's motivations are. And I feel it would have been like the movie wouldn't have been better if it was Anarchy. But I feel as like a fan of the characters, it would have been more appropriate to have Anarchy be the villain. But the reason they used the Riddler is because
It's even more recognizable. Like
he's more recognizable, or B, Matt Reeves just doesn't know who Anarchy is, and like that's just what I was trying to get to about that because I feel like the Riddler could be like really like cool and interesting and fun because like playing through like the Arkham games, like the riddles are actually kind of fun, and doing a bit of detective work. Like when you mentioned before about the Arabic riddle, that reminds me of when I was playing Arkham Knight. It wasn't associated with the riddle, but it was just a different puzzle. Whereas like you were like tracking down someone and they put in a password into a keypad, and so you had to figure out what the password was, and so but like, the guy knows there's a camera, so he hides himself so the camera can't see. However, there's a mirror like on the side, so you look into the mirror to see the code. And I was putting the code in, and I was like, "Why isn't this working?" It's exactly what it says. But then I realized, oh fuck,
It's like flipped.
Exactly, it's flipped. So and when I realized that, I was like, that is just like a really like fun aspect, which could be really interesting in like a film setting. Like the problem is, I feel like in the Batman, you can't actually solve the riddles because you don't actually have all the information. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a mystery is really only fun is if the audience member has enough information to solve it with
Or it's like
everything that they have.
have you all ever seen Knives Out, actually?
I heard it's not very good.
Oh,
Knives
is it the one
Out.
where like people with the iPhones are immediately the good guys, which I think is such a stupid way to, give a clue, because that just means whoever is got an iPhone, they're
mm,
obviously good.
I feel like I don't remember that. Nah, but Knives Out, like, well, Knives Out 1 at least, it's like it's like a whodunit. It's a murder mystery movie. It's got
You know, I'm aware of the
uh
premise. It's just I just hadn't seen it because
yeah.
I heard it was very poorly written. In fact,
Um I disagree. I think Knives Out 1 is like amazingly written. Knives Out 2, Glass Onion, it's not as good. It's still quite fun, but like the issue is with Glass Onion you can kind of see the like who like the killer, and you can kind of see where it's going from like a mile away. Whereas like the original, it is like I feel like it's one of those movies where like it's one of those movies where all the clues are there. Some of them are a little tricky. Like some of them I'd argue are a bit too tricky, but all the clues are literally there and they're all laid out. But if you're like a first time watching it, I didn't see like the killer coming like at all.
I mean, I haven't seen either, so I can't really attest to either quality. I just haven't heard good things. But yeah. What else were we talking about before I interrupted everyone?
I don't know, Batman, I think. I can't really remember
Um,
where we were exactly, but
right. I'm sorry. Quick question. I'm curious. If you scroll up on the Discord to the little image of Batman's emblem, I found that.
yeah,
I'm curious what you guys think of that design.
I actually quite like it. I feel like I wasn't really sure if I would be feeling it until I actually like saw you post it. I was gonna say earlier, but I think we were on something else.
I was looking for something different, but I
Um,
saw this one and it's like I actually like if they did something like this in a film.
yeah, like I still kind of stand that like I think the only thing is I kind of like thought the gold would be like too reflective, but I feel like with that it I don't necessarily think it would be. I think it would just
Yeah,
it would
that's
kind of as long as like the rest of the design sort of like reflected it. I would kind of like to see like a blue Batman. I agree, but I'm leaning more towards I think James Gunn's Batman should go more that route.
I
And I
mean,
think
you have two chances, but like, wouldn't it be so disappointing if like both designs are just going to be complete black?
hmm,
'Cause
yeah, like I feel like because for me I feel like Matt Reeves's Batman universe I feel like it's like very it's like quite it's quite like practical and quite grounded, but I also feel like it's very reminiscent to me at least of like the animated series and like the comics as well. Like
I mean,
sort of like year one era comics.
I just don't want them to fall into the same trap that the Nolan films fell into, where they were just
Mm.
too afraid of using the more fantastical elements. Because like Dark Knight Rises is not a great film, and like the fact that Bane isn't Bane doesn't help.
Yeah, I actually agree. I don't really like the Dark Knight Rises at all.
And like the
But
only reason that like Bane is the way he is because Chris Nolan said he doesn't want superpowers in like in his movies, and I'm like,
yeah,
all right, fine, but I mean, you didn't have to use one of the most like famous superpowered characters that like Batman has. You get what I mean?
yeah, I kind of like already got the energy. Like I got the energy from like I got the energy from because I feel like what I don't really I still think like the Dark Knight is like like I still think The Dark Knight like is just up there as one of the like best Batman movies ever.
I mean,
But
yeah, I personally don't think Batman
I
has been translated to film well so far. I don't think there's been a really good adaptation of the character so far.
yeah, I'm gonna say that I think like with the Nolan films, because I really like the Nolan films. I feel like Rises kind of dropped the ball a bit, but The Dark Knight I think is like just a perfect movie for what it is. But I feel like Nolan's Batman, the whole idea around it feels a bit too much more like Batman, but he's in the real world. Like it's meant to be an extremely realistic Batman. Matt Reeves's Batman feels to me straight out the comics. Like in my opinion, it's the
Sorry
perfect.
to interrupt, guys, but I'm actually gonna head off soon. I just do have some stuff to do later on,
I don't know. That's,
so I should probably get onto it.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Whenever you need to leave, just say so because we'll be going for an hour and a 45. So whenever
Yeah.
whenever
So,
you need to leave, just let us
It's
know.
gonna be a long episode.
Yeah. So don't.
okay. Well, I'll speak to you soon then. See ya.
Oh, see
All
you
Have
right.
a good Christmas.
Oh, bye.
You too.
Merry Christmas. Oh, he left.
But yeah, to kind of just like wrap up what I was saying, like yeah, like the Matt Reeves version feels like straight out comics or straight out of like Batman the animated series to me, at least in terms of like its kind of tone. We don't really know how they're gonna go some of the more fantastical elements yet. I think it's probably gonna um I think the vibe I'm getting is it's gonna kind of remain very um like golden age sort of like for instance they're introducing Clayface.
Well, I was
The
just
route I
about.
kind of
I was just about to bring that up because the problem, as I said, the problem with the Nolan films is that he was too resistant to having the more fantastical elements, and I don't want Matt Reeves to be the same way because, as you said, the rumor is that Clayface is going to be in the second film. But I mean, I don't think anyone on planet Earth wants Clayface in a movie if he isn't going to have his powers.
yeah. So I have opinions on this
Hmm.
because I discussed it with my dad because my dad actually is I think my dad's actually said for like years now. He's quite a big fan of Clayface, but like he's a fan of like Golden Age Clayface and I think like some of the comics where there's obviously been all the different Clayfaces because obviously there is, you know, like because I think it wasn't until the second Clayface that he like actually became the Clayman.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And
yeah, he's always Matt Hagen, but this is the origin changed.
yeah, or isn't it because Matt Hagen is like the one who's actually the Clayman. Basil Karlo is the original who's
Oh, well,
not like
sometimes
the
because
Clayman who's
Clayface in the Arkham games is Basil Karlo as well.
okay.
So I
But in
think
terms of like the comics, I think Basil Karlo's like usually been
the
the
non-powered
dude
one.
in the costume.
But
Yeah.
like in the comics, Basil Karlo eventually does get Clayface powers as well.
Okay.
But like it's just there's so many. If you don't want to have powers in your film, then fine. But just don't choose the characters that people want to see the powers of.
So I have opinions, and it's mostly this is mostly my opinion. So I think the perfect way of doing it, if I was Matt Reeves, again, I'm not Matt Reeves. Whatever he does, I'm sure he'll, you know, have like I'm sure he'll do something interesting. But for me, I personally think the best way of doing it is to kind of go a sort of body horror route that I feel like will be very like in in keeping and in tone with like the universe that's already been set, but also does some of the more fantastical. So, in my head at least, the way I like picture it is to not go like the route where he's like a clay, like he's like he like turns into like a clay blob or something, or at least maybe until like the end of the movie. Maybe go like full thing, the like face cream or whatever it is that makes him like malleable.
Yeah, so it's more
And
like
I imagine he
chameleon in
like
the beginning.
yeah, because I imagine he um like the really goes maybe he's like disfigured some way, but it was used like, to basically turn his face into like clay and like mold him to a more like perfect image, which improves his chances in his roles and like
I mean,
you know.
I get
And
that. I just feel like it would be kind of like boring for lack of a better word. 'Cause, like, is this really what we want out of this character? I get you
yeah,
leading to he's gonna have his powers at the end, but I I'm just a bit concerned because if I feel like Clayface is just too fantastical, if they're gonna jump from like like the Riddler to like Clayface,
yeah,
I think a lot of people are right when they're saying if there's gonna be any kind of transition, we're gonna have someone like Mister Freeze to bridge the gap.
yeah. Like I still think Mr. Freeze would be perfect. Um,
Yeah, but like
just in the fact that I think he's the way I'd kind of looked at it as well was that like the Riddler in my head the Riddler is like a villain who plays with Batman's mind,
yeah,
and I think Mr. Freeze is a villain who plays with his heart. You know,
I
he's
was just about
more
to
of
say like
a yeah.
compassions, but then something that might be good for Matt Reeves' universe is maybe Killer Croc might be a good fit.
Hmm.
But like the thing is,
Actually, yeah, saying that.
yeah, it's like as like kind of fantastical, but still within the realm of possibility. But
Yeah, like he's just like a mutated guy basically in like the sewer.
yeah, but
So
like the problem is, I think Clayface is the last decently big villain that Batman hasn't faced in a live action film yet.
mm,
Because like so far he's gone against uh, in order uh, Joker, Riddler, Penguin, Catwoman, uh, and that's for the 60s. And in '89 they used the exact same characters minus the Riddler. Um, then in the Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, it's Mister Freeze, Poison Ivy, Two Face, and the Riddler again. And in the Nolan films, then we get Scarecrow for the first time and Ra's al Ghul.
yeah.
And then you have Joker and Two Face, which have been done separately before. And then you have
Mm,
Bane, and he's been done before in Batman and Robin.
yeah.
And then you have Talia for the first time. And in Batman v Superman, you don't really get any villains. KG Beast is kind of in there, but not really. And then Justice League, not really any Batman villains. Deathstroke's in there, I guess. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Deathstroke is like more of a Teen Titans villain anyway. And then in
I'd like
so go on.
oh yeah, I was gonna say I'd like to see ah why have I forgot? I actually forgot. It'll come back to me. Continue.
But yeah, and then in the Matt Reeves, then we have the Riddler, Penguin. In Birds of Prey, we've seen Black Mask.
Yeah, he was Ewan McGregor, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Deadshot was in Suicide Squad.
Mm.
So I would say Clayface, yeah, is like the last big villain that we haven't seen. I guess him and Hugo Strange, but like we can put Hugo
Yeah.
Strange in like any film really, yeah, as like a background character.
Yeah, as like a side villain or a side character.
I guess Man Bat
Yeah.
we haven't seen.
Oh yeah,
Man Bat
actually.
might be a good one because of the fact that like it's like kind of like fantastical but kind of not. And Killer Croc was also in Suicide Squad. It's also probably like
I was gonna
Manda.
say I like to see Calendar Man,
Oh,
but I feel like
we've seen him in
uh,
the Suicide Squad.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say first of all he was in the Suicide Squad. Surely is just like a cameo, but like
Yeah. Like I want to see his Tommy Gacker
uh
costume because his costume is actually pretty cool. I really like his costume.
yeah, yeah. It's quite flashy. I feel
Yeah, but like
but I feel in the Matt Reeves universe, I feel like the Joker is actually gonna fill the whole like Long Halloween Calendar Man kind of like role.
really not the Riddler.
Um, I feel like maybe the Riddler might kind of like or he might like join the Joker in that kind of role, but it's like have you seen the deleted Joker scene or
Yeah, I'm
um
not really a fan of like the way he looks.
ah
But
yeah
I mean,
because
yeah, I wouldn't mind it if the next Matt Reeves film was like an adaptation of the Long Halloween, and we get introduced to Harvey Dent and then
yeah, well they've confirmed Harvey Dent is gonna be in it, I think,
do we have an
in
actor?
this one. Um, I don't think we do yet. I know there was like a couple like shortlists.
I feel like
Harvey
because
Dent,
I
the
feel like
Batman.
because James Gunn's in charge of DC now, I feel like the casting will be more accurate.
Hmm.
Because like I don't know if Gordon and Catwoman would have been cast the same if James Gunn was like in charge at the time.
Hmm.
But if it's like an adaptation of Long Halloween and but the villain is actually going to be like Calendar Man because and like Riddler actually helps out stopping Calendar Man, I'd actually be happy with that.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
don't know.
and Harvey doesn't even have to become Two-Face in that film. It could be in the third one.
Yeah, like I can imagine that they're gonna introduce Harvey, but like I feel like they'll set him up over the movies. Like it'll be a bit like I
Yeah,
guess what the plan was with like Billy D. Williams
yeah. Well,
as Harvey,
that was actually
where he like
continued in a comic book. I'm actually thinking about doing it,
yeah, yeah,
but yeah, because Long Halloween, like in like comics and like in the two-part animated movie, which I think is actually pretty good, is
yeah. I actually haven't seen the film yet. Like
it's
I
a two-parter, so it's like two different films. It's actually really good. I would
mm,
definitely recommend it. But with that like the whole idea of the story is it's a transition between the old school like mobsters and like the supervillains.
ah
So the whole thing's like you have like the Falcones and the Maronis,
mm.
and then it's like that like conflict with like the killer and then all like the
Which I
freaks.
think actually was like partly what because I think partly like that's what Penguin's setting up as well with
Yeah,
what's it
he'd be
like
like taking control.
yeah with like Penguin taking over like the Falcone gang I suppose
Yeah.
and
So like doing that I think would be cool and like in like the Batman 2 I want to see like more like characters. It's like so in like the first one we got like Riddler, Penguin and like Catwoman.
yeah
But I think it'd be cool just to see like a lot more like going on because like if we get introduced to Harvey Dent and
I think
like
you don't want to like introduce too much to avoid it becoming cluttered, but you also want to like introduce enough to like start setting up like the seeds for like a lot of these characters.
I mean
Um,
I think it wouldn't be too egregious because at the end of the Batman we see like he's being a public hero, meaning like you could easily justify it as just a lot of criminals are just taking inspiration from the costumed like Batman to become
yeah,
villains.
yeah.
So you could have like smaller characters like you could I think you could from the end of the Batman I could easily see them doing like Killer Moth because Killer Moth's whole deal
Hmm.
is that he's inspired by Batman to basically be the Batman for villains, where he basically like shows up to heists or crimes and then basically offers his services to protect them as like a bodyguard for the criminals against Batman.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
it's like Batman kind of has like a match in terms of like there's another dude with
who who's like on the
like
other team.
armor and shit. Yeah.
So I feel like they could easily do
Wh-
Killer Moth, and I think that'd be really cool because he hasn't appeared in
Yeah,
the comics
actually
before.
I kind of agree there. Like I think
Yeah, so like he has just have
and just
a costume guy going around basically thwarting Batman from thwarting the villains.
yeah, and like a dude as well who has like that Batman has like a lot of gadgets and shit and like having
Yeah,
a dude who kind of has like a lot of all that as well.
and like a Killer Moth, like you can easily just give him like the wings so he can fly as well as his cocoon gun to like trap people.
Yeah.
So I feel like in the next film you could easily do Long Halloween, but have the main players be like the remaining mob bosses, Callan the Man being the killer, and then you could have like Killer Moth be around and maybe throwing Killer Croc or Solomon Grundy as like
Yeah, yeah.
a slightly more fantastical element, and then you have like a ton of different. Because like in the comics, they're like the supervillains are they're known as like the freaks by like the mobsters. So then you have
Hmm.
like the mobsters trying to run this up. Then you got like Penguin doing shit. Then you have like Killer Moth who would work for Penguin in this scenario. Then you have like Solomon Grundy running around, and then you have like Calendar Man doing like a bunch of shit. And then that's like I think if you're gonna do that kind of thing, you need a decent selection of villains to basically compete against the mob. And I think Calendar Man, Solomon Grundy, Killer Moth, and Penguin is a decent amount of characters to be in conflict with the mob.
Yeah.
And like these are all characters that haven't like really appeared in the Batman film before, except from Calendar Man's brief cameo. Having like Solomon Grundy, Killer Moth, and Calendar Man as like your like main villains, I think could be really cool. But I just
I
don't
don't know. I think I think there's I think there's a lot of ways they can go about just like the new film.
I just don't want them to use like someone like Clayface without giving his powers. It's like having Poison Ivy without her
Yeah.
powers.
Well, I reckon that like I think that the Matt Reeves' Batman is gonna kind of the way I see it is that Nolan's Batman is like the absolute like realistic Batman. Like it's Batman depicted in like a realistic universe.
I mean,
I think that James Gunn is going to be more like
fantastical.
fantastical, I reckon, because obviously because it's part of the because
Batman's
it's
gonna
like
have
part
to
of the
fight
DC.
Darkseid and shit. So
Yeah. So I think they're going to lean far more into the into like the more fantastical. There's going to be more kind of like CGI or like more out there sort of like villains. And I feel like Matt Reeves is gonna, I reckon, will probably sit in the middle where it's a very like gothic and a very sort of like film noir style Batman.
yeah,
Where it's kind of, I reckon, it's not that like more fantastical elements are like off the table, but that it's kind of got its own like sort of gritty aesthetic to it, and it's kind of making that work in a way that doesn't feel it doesn't feel like they just suddenly introduce a character who can like mold himself into clay and then just like turns into like a CGI blob or something.
I mean, I think
it's finding a way of doing that.
I think it's all about execution, because I think it would be really cool to see Matt Reeves tackle Clayface, but it all depends. Like something I just thought about is like I would think it'd be really cool if we got to see like I don't know the Question appear in the Matt Reeves stuff.
Yeah, I know bits and pieces about the Question, but like not a lot.
Well, I only know him from the Justice League Unlimited show, and like he's one of my favorite heroes because of it. But like yeah, it was all about execution. But all about like after watching like the Planet of the Apes films, I'm really keen on Matt Reeves now. Just his like filmography.
Nah, I think he's a great director, and obviously with Planet of the Apes and stuff, I think he's done a lot with like mocap and things. So
yeah, so I feel like if they
I could see him.
Yeah, like because like the CG in those films are impressive. So I feel like if he's gonna go
Yeah.
CG, then like he'll do like something really good. But like I feel like like I feel like someone like Solomon Grundy would be a good fit, because all you need to do is cast a really tall guy and give him some decent like zombie makeup, and then in the film it could just be you could just not confirm whether or not he's like a resurrected zombie or not.
Yeah,
Just not, just, like,
I think you could.
It'd be like a question. If it's just a guy like who's got some weird condition, or if it is actually someone who's been resurrected.
Yeah, I think he could be one of those villains actually that could really sort of like still fit in like like he could sort of fit in like the grounded universe and also be the kind of link that starts to introduce some of the more fantastical elements without it feeling like too like, because for instance when it comes to like Clayface, I'm thinking like I'll actually see if I can like get a GIF to like sort of like demonstrate what I'm talking about. I think with like Clayface, like I think where I'm kind of like, oh, here we go. This is from Gotham Knights. This GIF has just come out. I always kind of like go, where does Bones go when he just like fits through like a grate or something? Which in like a more like in a cartoon or in like an animated or like a more, I guess like a much more like fantastical thing, you don't really think about that because it's just like
he doesn't have bones.
Wait.
In like the Arkham games, if you use Detective Vision, he's like have you played the Arkham games?
Yeah,
Do
I,
you
I
know?
played them like ages ago, but
Do you know what the twist is in Arkham City?
um, remind me.
It will be a spoiler if you don't know though. If you
Uh,
remember.
I, I, I played it before, but like ages ago, so I don't really care about like the
Okay, so
spoilers too much.
yeah, so the plot is obviously like Joker's sick and needs Batman to find a cure. However,
Yeah.
sometimes during the game you see Joker and he looks completely healthy. However,
Hmm.
if you use the detective mode, you'll
Ah,
see
Detective Vision.
he's the only character that doesn't have a skeleton, and it is revealed at the end of the
Yeah,
game
and it's
it's
because he's
actually Clayface
Clayface.
who's been playing as Joker.
Yeah, because I remember like the Joker dies at the end.
Yeah, and like yes, that's like a really cool twist to like Clayface, and like there are actually clues in earlier in the story if you pay close
Mm.
attention. But yeah, um, yeah, so that wouldn't really be like an issue because like I don't think because like people say oh it has to be like realistic to stay in like tune, but I don't believe that. I just if Matt Reeves just does like actual Clayface, I feel
Yeah,
uh no one will bat an eye. It's like if he does it well, no one will care, and it's like oh yeah this is really cool.
yeah. I don't know. I think in terms of Batman, I think there's just one thing we can all agree with,
What's that?
and if people don't agree, I will be very disappointed.
Go on in.
Um, but I think we can all agree that the definitive versions of Batman are Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill as Batman and Joker.
Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, after playing the Arkham games, it's like my favorite Batman.
Yeah,
Oh, since Maidens is gone, do you want to talk about the spoilers for the Suicide Squad then?
yeah. Why not? Why not? Just maidens. If you decide to like watch the watch the pod, just don't watch past this point.
Yeah, spoilers ahead. Okay, so
So
what spoilers have you heard? Because I've seen them all, I think.
um, so I've seen Oh, okay. So since I brought up Kevin Conroy, yeah, I've seen that like Batman, like gets capped by Harley. I don't know
Yeah,
if there's like anything that like the leakers have like made out of context. But I've seen like apparently that happens. And people are saying, oh, well that sucks because this is like his final role as Batman, and like they've just made like a mockery out of it.
yeah. Also, the fact
Which
that this is supposed to take place in the same universe as the Arkham games
yeah, which I think that
is a big mistake.
assuming so if we're assuming that like this is like if we're assuming that like there's no like say because apparently there's like some multiverse stuff going on and apparently like and this is assuming that like there's nothing out of context like this is the Arkham version of Batman getting shot and killed, and that's like his final time. Then I would agree that for like the Arkham fans that would really suck. I would disagree that it's disrespectful to Kevin Conroy because obviously it was made while Kevin Conroy was still here. So like,
Well, I mean, like, even if like he was still alive, I think it would still be disrespectful in the sense like, I don't know if you saw his appearance in the CW crossover.
yeah, where he's
He shows,
like Kingdom Come Batman or
yeah,
something.
he shows up, he's evil, and then is killed by Batwoman.
Yeah, like I didn't see that much, but that sucks.
Yeah, like that's basically like the same thing. Is like we don't want to see fucking Harley Quinn like fucking golf club Batman in any scenario.
Mm.
It's like especially
They just
Arkham,
pull a
like
Joel with him, and
yeah, but, like especially Arkham Batman, where like you see those memes of like law accurate Batman, and it's just people playing the Arkham games.
yeah, and he's just like beating up like random dudes.
And it's like no way fucking Arkham Batman would lose to the fucking Suicide Squad.
Yeah, yeah. I reckon like wait, I'm just sorry, I'm just looking for this
Don't worry.
meme. um but yeah, I feel like in terms of yeah, like in terms of like the Suicide Squad leak, like I don't want to like again, I feel like I need to wait until the game is like fully here so I can know that like there's no context it's been taken out or anything.
I don't
Because
think
like it could be the case. So
I don't
yeah.
think the context has really help. And like even if like at the end of the game we reverse everything with like the Flash or something, and like nothing ever happened, like Arkham Batman's still alive. It's like, is this really what we wasted our time with for nothing to have mattered?
Yeah.
And like
Like I've still really just like lost a lot of interest in the game anyway. Like
and like
just
Poison Ivy's like a kid
excluding
now for
all
some
the
reason,
leaks. Yeah, like Poison Ivy's a kid.
and they kind of insinuate that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy had a relationship at some point. Who fucking knows when that could have occurred? Because um, like we have seen these characters' lives throughout the first three Arkham games, and we know exactly how they have not interacted in that way ever before.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that it's only being introduced when one of them is like a child is really
Yeah,
weird.
like that's a bit that's
But
a bit odd.
it's like,
That's a bit off.
like imagine going to like an 8-year-old and saying, "Remember when we used to fuck?" Like,
Yeah, like that's a bit creepy actually.
and like it's just
Yeah,
yeah, and like
I
because
feel like if they wanted to go like that angle, then they shouldn't have done it with like Ivy as a kid.
well,
Like
like the fact that it's part of Arkham is like in the Arkham universe is like Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. They're straight in that universe. Like in all three games, there's no indication that like they have that any kind of relationship like that because
I mean,
the Arkham game started in 2008 before they made that change to Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy.
yeah. Well, I mean, you could argue in the comics, like, like they could be bi, and it's just like never brought up until like,
Or until they
until like
until
that moment.
coincidentally that's when they wanted to the developers wanted to add it in. But it's just like
Yeah. Like I don't
because these characters have
I don't
interacted
care.
before. These characters have interacted in the game in these three games before, and that wasn't even hinted at. So it's just like it is like basically a retcon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Like
it,
I don't really care if they want to go that route. It's more just how they handle it in a way that's not really, well, first of all, not really like tasteless, and be like not really, I guess, affecting any like existing law. And I feel like there's not really any existing law. I guess like I can't really remember like too much or too much about what happens like between games, because obviously like the Joker does die, obviously. And I don't really think as well like the Joker and Harley's relationship anyway is always like supposed to be extremely like toxic and extremely like built off very uh well,
yeah.
entirely built off like manipulation on the Joker's end.
But I mean,
Um
like Joker dies in Arkham City, and but in Arkham Knight, which takes place, I think 6 months later.
like Harley's still not over it.
Yeah, her whole she's in the game doing stuff because she's still into the
Yeah.
Joker, and so
Which means that
yeah, sorry.
like it makes it very unlikely that she would have like just had a moment in between where she's like, actually maybe I should move on, and then starts trying to like, I don't know,
Like
date Poison
yeah, because
Ivy,
like
and then like
Joker died when like she was the most infatuated with him, so it seems very unlikely that in Suicide Squad takes place 5 years after Arkham Knight, but in that time,
yeah,
like Harley would have been, I guess, incarcerated. 'Cause that's like how she could be part of the Suicide Squad. And in that time,
yeah,
there's not a chance for Joker to go over the line in her eyes for her to change her mind about it, like anything, because like he's dead, he can't do anything about it.
yeah.
So this version of Harley is like everything that has to do with like her personality and her relationships are all retconned from the previous Arkham games. This wouldn't be an issue if it was just not set in the Arkham universe.
Yeah. Like I feel like they should have.
It should have been an Elseworlds.
Um,
It shouldn't have anything to do with it, and that would have made it instantly like automatically better.
yeah. I mean, from what I've read, again, take this with a grain of salt because like I'm not sure if this is entirely accurate, but I think Rocksteady were working on a Superman game set in the Arkham universe. So the Arkham version of Superman.
I think that's just a rumor because people were saying that because they have like the entire like Metropolis modeled.
Yeah.
And like it's like the Suicide Squad game is like a repurposed Superman game, but I think that's just like a myth. But I mean,
I mean, I'm not sure if there were like leaks or Okay, I did just read. The first thing that comes up is a Forbes article that says no, Suicide Squad did not replace a Rocksteady Superman game.
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay,
like,
so
I think everyone
so
would.
apparently it's not.
Yeah, so but I think everyone, because it's been 9 years since Arkham Knight, when
Hmm.
Suicide Squad releases, and I think everyone would be, I think everyone, no matter who you ask, would prefer either a new Arkham game with Batman, like after the events of Arkham Knight, or another superhero in the universe, or even
Yeah, I would have liked an Arkham Batman Beyond personally.
I don't want to get too much into this, but I'm not really a fan of like the Batman Beyond kind of stuff. I'd
I
much
don't know. I I I mean I don't know. I don't know how much you want to like go into it, but I like I lean more towards like Bruce Wayne Batman and stuff because that's just like the iconic. But I feel like Batman Beyond I really like just because it's it's kind of it's just Batman but with like a cyberpunk twist basically, and so I like the concept of it.
I get that, but I mean, like in terms of like the Arkham series, I'd much rather have just like a sequel to Arkham Knight, or have a Superman game, or something to maybe merge to would be like a World's Finest game where like in Arkham Knight where you can swap characters in certain missions. Um, you can do that with like Superman, and like there's like two separate campaigns going on at the same time.
Hmm.
And then you could, if you wanted to, you could just have Superman in Gotham for some reason, or Batman in Metropolis. Probably Batman in
Yeah.
Metropolis because that would be a new environment. But
Yeah.
like the
I
fact
don't
that
really know like
sorry, I was just gonna say like the fact that the Suicide Squad game takes place 5 years after Arkham Knight, and the entire Justice League has formed, and they have history, and they have like the Hall of Justice and a museum. It's like we skipped so much interesting story. It's like, why is there not a game of the Batman like first becoming a part of the Justice League? Why is that not a game that exists before this one?
yeah. It does feel weird to just kind of like skip over it essentially.
It's like so much, and that we just like missed out because that's like I'm playing through Arkham Knight and I'm actually invested in the story. I can't just put a podcast on. I have to like pay attention to what's going on because I'm actually invested in the story.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh yeah, we have Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, John Stewart, meaning fucking Hal Jordan exists already at some point,
Hmm.
and it's just like so much, like wasted potential for like a
I
fucking
think the like
looter shooter.
they the problem is I don't really mind like or I don't really like mind too much. I feel like some people might if they really want to like know more, but I feel like I don't really mind that there's not like a whole Justice League game to then just like like I don't really mind if as long as like they go into a bit like if like the Suicide Squad game explains a bit about like the between of Arkham and like the Justice League's formation and
I mean,
stuff.
I feel like I could accept that
But
if we had like Batman as like, the main character. Like the Justice League has taken over Brainiac, so Batman in this new game has to initiate his like Tower of Babel protocol.
yeah, like I don't remind either way, even if it's like a Suicide Squad game, I don't mind. I think it's more so just that I feel like the way of going about it as a game, like they've like a lot of people said the way they've gone about it is it's clearly designed to be a like live service kind of
It's a
game.
live service looter shooter. Why do no one who
Yeah.
likes Batman Arkham games like wants this? Like I basically just fixed the entire game. Remove the Suicide Squad. Keep the exact same game, but just have Batman be the one to stop them.
Yeah,
And that can be the story of how Batman joins the Justice League.
yeah.
Doesn't
Or
that sound way better?
yeah, like now that you say that, that does sound like a more interesting game to me.
Just keep the exact same
Um,
map and just have Batman save the Justice League.
yeah,
That just sounds so much better.
and likewise the inverse. This is going to be like completely, it's going to be kind of like completely out there, so this isn't really like linked entirely.
Go on.
But I uh, in terms of like a Suicide Squad game, for me, at least this is what I think like the $1 billion idea would be. But obviously, my idea of a good Suicide Squad game might not be anyone else's. Is to make it a sort of like roguelite permadeath game where you play as a procedurally generated supervillain with like different like powers or abilities, and like whenever you die, or like I don't know, yeah, like whenever you die, you then get switched out as like a different supervillain.
I don't think I'd be too fond of that, but I mean, like, to each his own, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I still feel like it sounds like $1 billion idea for a game, but
Maybe,
maybe not
but
billion, but like it sounds like it would be fun.
but I
Um,
guess. But I think we can both agree that like
just the way they've gone about like the new Suicide Squad game is just not.
it's like after like 9 years, this is what we get.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be good, and I think it sucks because I think that just like Rocksteady is a developer. I think it's another like
Fallen
it's
Giants.
an yeah, it's another Anthem situation. It's another like Redfall situation where it's just a developer who's had like basically like a near perfect track record or like an amazing track record, but effectively whether it be due to like publisher interference or whatnot, has just like ends up making a live service game. And it's just like completely gone against all of their like previous design values, and it just feels like a game that's there to make money. I mean, I think especially if you look at like the failure of the Avengers game, like
Yeah,
isn't the
oh yeah.
Avengers game shutting down now, or at least it's like stopped getting updates, and it's like this just feels like a repeat of that at this point. Like there's so many good ways you could have done, a Justice League game or a Suicide Squad game. Like I would love like especially after watching like the James Gunn movie, I'm like I would love a Suicide Squad game if it was done well,
Yeah,
but
like
I don't think this is going to be it.
I think it's easy if you have like let's say just have like anywhere in the world, take your pick, maybe Bialia or something. We have basically a brand new map from Rocksteady. It could even be like the size of like Arkham Arkham City. It could be small, and just have the Suicide Squad going to do something, stop a bigger supervillain,
Hmm.
and the gameplay could be like just like Arkham, but with different characters and their abilities. Because the Arkham games, like, you have you play as different characters as well. Like there's DLC where you can play as
Yeah,
like
like
Catwoman, Joker, Harley
Catwoman.
Quinn. So
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
everything there, but just have different characters with different specialities. Like obviously like Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, like
Yeah, like the
Harley Quinn.
problem people have pointed out is they all just play the same with different abilities because it's
Yeah,
designed to be like a looter shooter. So everyone's just like running around with a gun.
yeah. Why the fuck is
So it's
Captain
like,
Boomerang using a fucking SMG?
yeah, like he's got fucking boomerangs. If you want to play as Captain Boomerang, you want to be like running around throwing boomerangs at people and shit, and like
Yeah, it's
having
like
a whole move set built around that.
yeah, like
With like Harley, you'd want to be running around with like an oversized hammer.
yeah.
With like
Deadshot is the only one that's like okay, fine, I get it.
yeah,
But
like
yeah, but with it's like, but like the fucking strawman argument would be like, oh yeah, you think how are you gonna have an entire game where you just throwing boomerangs at people? It's like motherfucker, look, the Batman in the three Arkham games, his entire moveset revolved around fucking batarangs.
yeah, batarangs and shit. Like
Yeah,
they should have gone a more like they should have gone a more they shouldn't have like designed the game around being like a shooter, but designed it around being more of like a brawler, I guess, with different characters having different move
or
sets
just
and
have it
stuff.
like the Arkham
Closer
games.
to like Arkham, yeah. Well, that's essentially what I mean.
Because
Yeah.
Arkham Knight is a massive open world where you can like where you have so much movement options, so you can keep all like their movement abilities, but just have their normal ones. Like, it's like in Arkham Asylum, your gadgets are very limited, but like every single one of Batman's gadgets in that game could be replicated with Captain Boomerang's moveset, with the exception of the Batclaw and
Hmm.
the uh, cryptographic sequencer. Because like you have like explosive shells, you have explosive boomerangs, you have like the batarangs, sonic batarangs, remote control batarangs, all boomerangs you can do. Um, you can even have a boomerang attached to a rope, and then you can just use that as a backclaw, which I think would be funny. But it's just like you could just replicate Batman's entire moveset with Captain Boomerang, and it would be like so much more fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, hold on, let me. Yeah, so you got like Joker's entire moveset.
Yeah,
It
I
kicks someone
don't
in the nuts and does the gritty.
know. Exactly. I feel
Trigger.
the need actually to I'm gonna bring up one more thing since we're talking about the Suicide Squad.
There you go on.
Because I kind of actually got to use the bathroom. So
I mean,
um
we've been going for about 2.5 hours. We can end. We can end now if you want, because
yeah, I just
pretty
want to
late.
quickly bring up I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the Suicide Squad Isekai that
Oh
they're
yes,
making.
that actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah, yeah, like I'm really looking forward to that.
It's a Wit Studio as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like they got
Is it?
Clayface in there. Clayface is a member of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, yeah, which I think is awesome. Has he ever been like a member in the comics or?
I don't know. In the world's finest comic, he's actually a good guy. He's actually become a hero.
Ah,
So post the Isekai stuff, and then we'll talk about that, and then we can finish, and then you can be relieved.
yeah. I
Yeah,
just there we are
yeah.
for a thumbnail.
I'll just play the
Nah.
I'll just play the trailer on mute. It's like some background stuff. Yeah, I've seen the trailer. It looks alright.
But yeah, I think it looks really cool. I like the character designs.
Yeah,
I like just the whole like, and it knows that it's like a stupid concept as well. Like it's a fucking isekai anime with like the Suicide Squad, but it uses that just to have a lot of fun with it. And I think it's
yeah. So like, what's our crew? We got Harley Quinn, Clayface, Deadshot, King Shark. Anyone else?
uh Peacemaker, I think's in
Oh
it.
yeah, Peacemaker's in this. There's a guy with a bag on his head. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I actually don't know. I don't even know. Like, I wonder if anyone's gonna be there to be like cannon fodder.
Probably because it's like
Cause
Suicide Squad.
yeah, I feel like the problem with because I feel like the problem with like I feel like James Gunn's kind of got it right. You know, okay, surely James Gunn, like of course, like James Gunn's just had like literally everyone at the beginning be cannon fodder, but we all kind of got to like get a feel for like their character and their personality and like while we saw them all going down. Whereas I feel like the original Suicide Squad movie, you just had what's his face? You had
Slipknot.
Slipknot, the guy who can climb anything, and that was his whole personality.
Yeah.
And he gets his head blown off.
Apparently, he had a backstory like everyone else, but it was cut in.
Yeah, well, it's like I don't know if you saw, they made like little trailers when they were like advertising the
Yeah, I
movie.
remember.
They made little trailers for like each character, and half of Slipknot's is just a helicopter crash because they had so little footage to work with
Well,
this character.
I think they had a full thing, but then they cut it out from David Ayer. So
Yeah,
the Ayer cut
yeah,
would have it. But yeah, I'm looking at this. So we got Clayface, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Peacemaker plus King Shark.
yeah. Which I think is like a good cast for
Yeah, but I mean, like, Deadshot is once again like race changed, even though I'm pretty sure Deadshot is really supposed to be Hispanic, so I have no idea why they keep doing this.
yeah.
It's
I
like
mean, I don't know. I don't mind too much if it's like different interpretations. I feel like the only times where it's a bit where I feel like it's too jarring for me is like in the new Suicide Squad game, like if Deadshot already exists in the universe.
he does. He's been race
But
changed in the Arkhamverse. Like he was.
yeah, yeah.
It's like he.
So
So he's just turned black over in like 5 years, I guess.
yeah, I think like they tried to say that like
Oh, it's a different
the
Deadshot or something.
yeah, there's like a different Deadshot, or the Deadshot that we saw in the Arkham games was like a fake one, and this is actually like the real Deadshot. But then
Well,
it's like, what's the point?
Well, I mean, that's just cope because like Batman has like interacted with Deadshot before, so like
Yeah, and
so,
he's had like fucking perfect aim and everything, so
yeah,
it's
so
just like
are the developers saying that Batman is wrong? I guess they
yeah.
are. But I mean,
It's
like,
just a kind of like it feels that like I don't care if like I don't know in like different mediums they like want to make like if you want to like have any character as like any race, like I don't even care, like I don't know if you want to do like a black Bruce Wayne even, I don't really care, but it's more so when like oh well what's his face like Will Smith was Deadshot
Deadshot.
once, so now
But
like
yeah, it
every
has
Deadshot's
like
got to be a black guy.
the thing is with Will Smith being Deadshot, that doesn't really bother me inherently because they did it because they wanted Will Smith in the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
But
like,
but the fact that it's like this is now the standard is like, come on, guys, really? Because
yeah, like
that's why like Jimmy
I
Olsen's
don't really
casting
mind.
is so like shocking.
Yeah, like I don't really mind. Like I'm kind of just I don't really like mind like casting being a bit different or whatnot if it's if it's like an actor I like or if it's like a good cast. Like I think there's literally been several good casts in just like lots of things
Yeah, I mean,
where
there's a
like
difference.
the
Yeah,
actor is like I mentioned I mentioned like Billy D. Williams
yeah, Two-Face.
as Two-Face. I think's great. What's his face? Obviously, I mean I know this was a thing in the comics first, but
Nick
what's his
Fury.
face? Nick Fury, yeah. Like Nick Fury is just like Nick Fury is Samuel L. Jackson now. Like I feel like most people aren't really debating that in the same way that like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. When you think of Nick Fury, you immediately think of Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, but
Um,
I mean, if I was in charge of this Suicide Squad Sky project, do you know what I would do?
oh yeah,
Like, if the studio heads were like saying, all right, we need one of these guys to be black, and I was like, all right, um, just use Bloodsport because he's more
yeah.
recent,
I
he
mean,
was more well received, and fucking get Idris Elba on there.
yeah,
But imagine if this was like a Bloodsport and like Idris Elba was like doing a dub.
yeah. I mean, I don't really like care so much because we don't even like it doesn't even necessarily mean that like
I don't know,
it's
it doesn't have
like
any indication of the quality of the product.
yeah.
It's just like a bit annoying, but like, oh, this is the standard, and no one's ever going to deviate ever again.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say as well, it could honestly we don't know the behind the scenes on these projects, so it might not even be the case that like it's like studio interference or like heads. It might just be the case that like a character designer was like, this is how I want to design like our version of like these characters.
Yeah, but it's like
Um,
somewhere. It's a decision that's made somewhere. But I'm
yeah,
just like, not because like the whole thing, like, oh yeah, it's like you saying like you don't mind, you can do anything with like any character, but I think that's kind of not against you, but like the people who say that it's kind of a hypocritical statement because oh yeah, if we change an existing character to do something else with the idea or the argument being we can just change anyone for anyone can be anything. But then once it is changed, once that change first happens, it is never changed again after that point.
yeah, which
It's
I
like
think that's usually the point where I'm just like, I don't really agree with it.
it's like oh yeah, like
But
Deadshot could be black because like we can have anyone and anyone anything. It's not really an issue. Okay, he's been like this for like every interpretation for the last 10 years. Do you want to maybe make him Hispanic now? I was like no. All right,
yeah,
what? What do you mean? That's just how I see it, at least.
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I
I'm
mean, I'm still
always
excited
like,
for. I'm still excited for it. It's just a bit of like roll of the eyes
yeah.
every now and again.
Yeah, like I kind of go with like the standpoint that it's like I mean I don't know. For instance, say I'm like I don't know. I'm like making an adaptation. I'm not really qualified for that kind of thing, but say I'm like making an adaptation of like I don't know. Let's just say like Batman. Like say I'm making my own version of the Batman universe and I
Yeah.
get like full creative control. Maybe I will make some little changes here and there because not every version needs to be like the same. And whether that's like how I want a character to be designed or I want like I don't know, the Joker to be a woman or something or like I don't know,
So,
I don't know.
something or other.
Batman's like actually like a 14-year-old now or something. I mean, that would be kind of dumb, but like you get what I mean. Like it's the fact that like I think different artists making I can agree when it feels a bit too like sense. I don't feel decisions are really like that.
Sorry, you're cutting out a
Like
little bit.
sometimes I said like I agree with me, like just think that I think exactly like all the time. Like the only thing sometimes a character's cast, or a character is designed a certain way or whatnot. And it's not they're like, right, it was like played by a black actor once, so now they have to be like a black guy. I mean, like you know, I mean, you're for me. It's like really, like even in like the main comics, didn't they change Nick Fury just to be Samuel L. Jackson basically because it was more synonymous with the character?
He was
Necessarily,
designed after Samuel
yeah.
Jackson in the Ultimate Comics universe.
Yeah, but I mean, like in the main universe, didn't like they introduce like a new Nick Fury to like replace the old one? Because like,
I don't know too much about Marvel Comics, I'm afraid.
which is fair. I mean, I don't know a lot either, but I just swear I remember reading something like that.
Well, I mean, do you wanna call it a day?
Yeah, I say we'll wrap up. I feel like we've been talking way too long.
Yeah, 2 hours
And
and 35. So
yeah, I need some food.
yeah, if you could send me your recording because there's a few cutouts, so not a lot, but every now and again. So if I sync my visuals with your audio, then that we should be sorted.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you upload it unlisted to the channel, then I can take it and then I can faff around. I think I'll try and get it up tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, I'll try and upload it like tonight. If
Yeah,
not tonight, then
yeah,
like
yeah.
as soon as I can.
Yeah, you just got the raw audio, so it shouldn't take too long to upload.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
any last words?
Not really. I think got pretty much everything. Well, you know, everything I want to say. It's a great privilege to be filming the final. I assume it's the last episode of the year. Like, I don't know if we're gonna be like free sometime in the week, but with all the time it takes, like edit and stuff.
I mean, not too much. As I said, I could probably get it up tomorrow. I don't know. Do you want to try and do this on the 31st? That's next Sunday.
Yeah, we could try. I'll keep you posted in case I'm busy, because obviously it's the 31st. I don't know if I might end up doing something in the day.
Cool. Well,
But
no pressure. We got this one done, so I'm happy about that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'll sometime after Christmas. I'll have a see if anyone's available.
Yeah.
If not, then we can just do something in January.
Yeah. Anyway, I really got to take a leak.
Well,
So
fair enough. Right then. Well,
yeah, so I'll chat whenever we're next free. Obviously, we got Discord, so we'll just message.
so I'll guess see you around and Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas. See ya. Bye.
Bye.